Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, happy Sunday, happy New Year in advance to people of the world and all the well-meaning Biafrans. I salute my president, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I salute my prime minister, Simon Ekpa Njoku. I salute Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Barabueze. I salute you. The Chief of Staff of United States of Biafra, the new declared country that was declared November 29, 2024. I salute you. I once again salute all the members, cabinet, the executive of United States of Biafra, re-declared again November 29, 2024. I am a proud United States of Biafra. It's my country. We are only seeking for international recognition, like what Israel give to country of Somaliland on 26th of December 2025. That is what we are lacking this time around. The same thing that Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu lack in the year 1967 to 1970. That is why that Biafra is not a country to today. Presently, the recognition of Namibia under Israel automatically prove that they are now become a member of the UN and fully get their recognition fully. That is what the people of United States of Biafra is seeking for right now. So we are also letting the world to know that if Somaliland can achieve recognition at this time that we are into, people that are Muslims simply mean that we, as part of the Jewish country and under Christianity, can achieve our official recognition. That is to prove to the world that United States of Biafra is going to be a solution to all these pending danger that are looming in Nigeria right now, because we will help to secure the life of every indigenous person that it is missing today in the eyes of the international global community. If Biafra becomes a country, there is no need the America coming to bomb anywhere in Nigeria, because we will secure the territory of those indigenous people and give them a free life, give them support of what they need to become their own independent country. Through that means, we will end this ongoing genocide. Biafra as a country is solution to every indigenous person down there in Nigeria, because Nigeria is a country of a destiny killer. Once you are living in Nigeria, or you born as a Nigeria, or you accept Nigeria, Nigeria in full word means death sentence to every indigenous person. If you doubt what I'm saying, you may go to social media, ask for Sowore, what he said about Nigeria. Sowore is one of the patriotic Nigeria, but today he has started noticing that Nigeria is not for him. That once you are being born as a Nigeria, it automatically you have been sentenced to life imprisonment, or you have been sentenced to death by hanging. That is what Sowore explained in this 21st century that Nigeria is. I want to use the opportunity to send message to all my brothers, those that are living in the north. It all what time we call Iraq north, Chorozoge, before it regulate. Because what is happening, Bone Mara before, no na enwe ka esi mee ihe na mbọrọ na-akpụ isi ala abịa na mba Nigeria gbuo mmadụ ebe ahụ. Oke ndị a na-egbu ọkwa Christian ka a ga-egbu, ndị na-ekpere Chineke ka a ga-egbu, ndị believe na Jesus Christ, ndị believe na ụzọ a ha ga-esi wee dị ndụ. Ya mere nji were ohere a na okwu Igbo na-akpọ gị na-asị gị n'ụtụtụ a na ọ bụrụ na ị nwere ụzọ ihe atọ na mba ugwu, kee ya ụzọ abụọ, kee ya ụzọ atọ, kpọrọ ụzọ abụọ chọọ ụzọ gị ka ihe a na-akpọtụ ihe a dorocha ihi na ekwekwana ka e were gị kọọ ihe a na-eme kama ka ị dị ndụ kọọ ihe na-akwado ime. Bikọs ọrụkwa ma ihe ọ na-akwado ime, mmezu ama Baịbụl nke ibelivu ya na-abịa imezu n'isi mba Nigeria. A ga-egbu ndị na-ekpere Chineke n'ụzọ dị ukwuu, ma ndị na-akpụ isi ala a ga-hapụ ha, na-abụ na ha ga-egburitakwa ndị ha chere nọọ ndị ọzọ sokwa na-akpụ isi ala na-abụghị n'ụdị nke ha. N'ihi ya mere nji na-ayọ gị gị onye ma na-ege m ntị n'ụtụtụ a na-asị gị ka ị bilie ma kwara ngwongwo gị tii n'ụgbọ. Ọkakwa mma na ịdị ndụ na-ebe akwa arịrị karịa na ị nwere na-ebe gị nwa akwa arịrị. Ọ ga-akara gị mma na ihe a na-akwado ime ka ọ dị ugbu a. N'ụbọchị nnyaa ha jere mee gịnị? Were ogbunigwe tụọ na Zamfara, ogbuo ndị mmadụ egbu. Ha nọkwa na-akwado revenge ihe ha ga-eme, n'ihi na ị mara na ndị a adịghị agbaghara mmadụ, and ị mara na ha afụrụ gị nwa dịka onye na-enweghị ihe ndụ gị pụtara n'ebe ha nọ. Ya ka nji na-akpọ gị ma na-ayọ gị ka ị were okwu a mgbe ọbụla rutere gị aka, ka ị were okwu a ma mere ihe. Ihe m chọrọ ka ị were okwu a mere bụ ka ị chọọ ụzọ gị ma hapụ mba north ka ị wee nwee ike ịdị ndụ kọọ ihe ga-eme, ka ị wee nwee ike ịdị ndụ kọọ ihe ị na-ahụ. Ya na o ji wee bụrụ na ọ kwesịrị ma ruore gị ugbu a, ụkwụ gị abụọ ka zuru oke, aka gị abụọ ka zuru oke, anya gị na ahụ gị ka zuru oke, ka ị were ahụ izu oke gị were ihe n'akwa. Ọkwa ya dị ndụ ga-akpata ego, ọkwa ya dị ndụ na-enweta ụlọ, ọkwa ndụ bụ isi. Egbupụ isi, ntị esoro, anya ero, onwekwa ihe ga-afọzi. So ekwekwana ka ọ bụrụ gị nwa ka a ga-eji wee kọọ ihe a na-eme na mba ugwu ka ọ dị ugbu a. N'ihi na ọ bụrụ si na ewere gị kọọ ya, jụọ gị ka ihe ga-emezi, gịnị ga-abụ ọnọdụ ndị ahụ ị na-agbara mbọ ka ha rie nri ma wee dị ndụ? N'ihi ya mere nji na-arịọ gị na-asị gị biko dododo nwanne mmadụ, buru ngwongwo gị tii n'ụgbọ ma bere akwa arịrị lọtawa. Ọzọ, m ga-akụzikwa gị vidiyo nke onye Igbo nọ na mba Amerịka na ihe ọ gwara gị ka ị mee. Ọ sụkwara gị ya n'Igbo, o ji okwu oyibo, o ji okwu ndị mba ofesi wee gwa, kama o ji okwu nke gị nwa na-anụ ọfụma, nke ị mara ihe ọ pụtara ma kọwaa ya n'onwe gị. Ya mere o ji na-agwa gị na-asị gị ka ime gịnị? Ka okpochi ntị ghara ikpochi gị ntị. Ihe na ịfụgo ihe na-eme na mba Nigeria ka ọ dị ugbu a, o wee na-akpọ gị na-arịọ gị asị nwanne mmadụ, na-ewetara gị ozi na-asị gị ka ị hapụ mba ugwu, ka ị laa. Ekwekwana ka okwu a si na ntị nke a banye, o si na nke a pụọ. Tụgharịa uche n'oge ị nwere bụkwa ugbu a ka ị nwere ya. Ihe na ihe a na-eme, Sheikh Gumi, onye isi ndị mba na-egbu ndị mmadụ, ekwuo na sị na mba Amerịka jikwa wee na-alụ ndị Biafra ọgụ. O kwuole sio na mba Amerịka na-alụ ndị Biafra ọgụ mgbe ya nwa bụ onye isi ha mepụrụ ọnụ ya wee kwuo dịka okwu a, marazikwe ka ndị ahụ nọ n'okpuru ya na ka akparamagwa ha ga-adị ma ọ bụ na ha cheta gị. Ha nọkwa na-akwado ihe ha ga-eme. Tupu ha na-akwado ihe ha ga-eme, ka ọ bụrụ ụrị na ịnọnwakwa na mba ugwu, ihi na otu ọ ga-adịkwa egwu. And mgbe ọ ga-akpọtụ, ọmaghị ebe ị ga-agbaje, werekwa ụdụ a oge dịrị gị ma mee gịnị, gbalaga na mba ugwu, chọọ ndụ gị, lọtara ala Igbo adịla mma na edoziri ala Igbo, obodo ajụọla oyi. Lọtakwara na ịtụ egwu ma ọ na a ga-eme ome nke ọ bụ ozi kịta ka a na-eme, n'ihi na ihe ọ bụla eji na nwayọ na-ewere ọnọdụ. Ya mere nji na-arịọ gị onye ma na-ege m ntị na mgbe ị ga-enweta ozi a, ka ị were ozi a mere ihe, ka ozi a baa gị n'ime ala obi gị, ka ị chọọ ụzọ gị, n'ihi na ihe na-abịanị karịkwara gị nwa. Ihe na-abịanị karịkwara gị nwa. Ekwuru m sị na mgbe na-adịghị anya m ga-akpọrọ gị ụzọ vidiyo abụọ iji wee mesiwa mba okwu ike, ka ị marakwara ihe a m na-ekwu na ọbụkwa mgbe oyizi kwuru ya, nke nji abụọ onye ịbụọ bụ nke nji abụọ onye ịtọ. Ana m arịọla gị na-asị gị ka ị were ndụ gị ka ha daino, ka njirimara ghara ịbịa n'ime ndụ gị at last, maọbụ na-ebe na ọbụkwa na m maara ọkwa bụkwa na ị maara ya nka nna ebe a ka ọ dị ugbo wee na-agwa gị, na-ayọ gị, na-asị gị biko dododo nga onye ọma na-ege ntị, ma gị jiri okwu a wee mere ihe ka ọ wee bara gị uru. Elekwala anya n'ọnụ onye okwu a si abịa, kama were okwu a kpọrọ ihe, were okwu a mere ihe. Ihi na iji okwu a emere, hapụ mụnwa ma were okwu a mere ihe, ga-eme ka ndụ gị dịrị. Ọ ga-eme ka ndụ ụmụ gị dịrị. Ọ ga-eme ka ndị ezinụlọ gị zuo oke. Ya mere eji na-arịọ gị na-asị gị biko ka ị gbalaba n'ụlọ ga nọghị, onwe ihe ọbụla ịfụrụ ma ebe n'ụlọ, wee ruo mgbe a chịkọtara ije ozi a nke mba Amerịka nọ n'ime ya ka ọ dị ugbu a. Ihi na ozi a ha na-aga ka ọ dị ugbu a bụ na ha chere na ha gachaa ya na a ga-eji ya wee dozie mba Naijiria, mana ọ bụ otu a nke ọ dị. Ihi na ihe mere mmebi emebiela. Nigeria bụ broken bottle that has no mequatarism. That is what Nigeria is. Ana m ayọ gị na-asị gị biko dododo nwanne mmadụ, onye ọma na-ege ntị, ikwu ibe, ọ nụrụ ozi ya eme gịnị, ya kara nwanne ya na oge eruola ahụ. Echekwa na ọ bụ okwu ndị Biafra, mba, kama na nke a bụ iji wee gwa gị nke bụ eziokwu ihe na-akwado ime. Ndị be anyị si na afọ ekwu igburu okenye, mana ekwu arụ igburu ụmụaka. Ekwu okwu na m sonye na mba n'olu ndị kwuru okwu na-agwa gị na site na peji a, na nna arịọ gị sị gị biko ka ị ghara ikwe ka e were gị kọọ ihe a na-akpọtụrụ, kama ka ị dị ndụ wee kọọ ihe a kpọtụrụ ihe a. Okwu otu a ka ọ ra m n'ọnụ. Yes, ụmụ Biafra, nke a bụ okwu nke anyị. Onwe m na-agadi nsọ na-asị gị na ihe mere eji wee bịa ebe a bụ ụtụtụ a, okwu a gbasara sovereignty. A sovereignty, kedu ihe ọ pụtara? Ka esi abụ sovereignty? How do you become a sovereignty? That is why we are here this morning, to interact, to do exchange of words with you, for you to know the truth. And this truth is very bitter. And this truth that you are undermining will not go well with you, that is undermining this truth. This truth that we are undermining at this stage we are, is not going to help you. Playing seek and hide, stealing by trees, can never help you. But what will help you is to listen to the importance of this program this morning. Again, what will help you is to pay attention to the importance of this message I am going to give you out from this program this morning. It's all about what? Sovereignty. And also, let nobody deceive you that we will achieve Biafra without history of other countries that it has happened to them before, and also from them is where the world put a law that guides the movement of a new country. I want to understand that having a new country is in two ways: a sovereignty without international recognition, sovereignty with international recognition. These are things that you must understand. How could a declaration of a new country that lack declaration, that lack recognition, becomes a sovereignty? You must become a sovereignty first before you push ahead. A sovereignty means a stakehold. A sovereignty means a new country. A sovereignty means that I am in control. A sovereignty means I am not fully in control, but I am waiting for recognition of international community, like what Israel gave to Somaliland on 26th of December. We, upon waiting, we are going to be doing some things to prove that this is our what? Our government. That is our what? Our country. Before other country will decide to recognize us. Without you being a country or a sovereignty, nobody can recognize you the way you want. Also, there is many countries in the world that have the government in exile that make a declaration without controlling 1% of their border. Out of declaration automatically makes you a sovereignty. Act of declaration on international law automatically prove you a sovereignty that are seeking for international recognition. That is how the world will view it. That is why I also tell you, forget what I'm thinking or what I know. When it comes to this movement, what I think or the way I narrate it without the guideline of the international community and their laws and the orders that have passed through this road we are passing through today, believe you me, it is very important that we all listen, pay attention, believe on the truth, stop wallowing away or stop moving away from the real truth. That is important. This program this morning is very, very important. It is very, very sacrosanct. If you can share it and like the program, we are waiting for you to invite others more. Invite others by liking and sharing. It does not remove anything from you. When you like, you share, then subscribe on the page. Turn your notification on so you know when we are on, when we are live, to do justice to many things that are bothering our people. If it is your first time coming, there is a 3 dot, the way I'm pointing my hand on the right hand side of your screen. Look on top of it the way I do my eyes right now. Then you will see that's 3 dot. Click on it, it will open. You will see like and share. Endeavor to do that. By doing that, you are inviting more people to come to join us this particular morning. Please, I urge you. The order that we are here to play, we want to lay down the rules and the understanding to every layman understanding what it means or how a new country is being merged. That is why we are here this morning, to let you to understand it and know the truth. No matter how bitter the truth is, no matter how bitter the truth it may become, the important thing is that the truth is out. To avoid, I didn't know, nobody told me. Ignorance is not an excuse in the law. Remove that you are ignorant in your life. Remove that your hatred. Remove envy. Remove 3 things that I mentioned right now. You will see how you learn what it means to become a sovereign state, and you will be happy within yourself. But when you are coming with envy and jealousness, you are doing yourself more harm than good. I am asking you this morning to know that there is a way to achieve a new country without gun and bullets. I am proving to you, you can be a sovereignty only for recognition. Only for what? The full. Once after you made official declaration, you have become a sovereignty that are lacking international recognition. The international recognition is another leverage proving that you become a full body country. Because when Israel organized people of Somaliland, after they have recognized them, now they have become automatically officially recognized, despite waiting for 34 good maximum years before Somaliland got their recognition. 26 December 2025. After good 34 good years. But in this time, waiting for this 34 years for them to seek this official recognition, the question you may ask is, are there a sovereignty? Are there a sovereignty state? The answer is fully yes. They are a sovereignty because that is what they claim, and that is how they present themselves. And they also, when they are seeking for this recognition, they did not use any other name. They go with the name what? Republic of Somaliland is what they use. Despite having a structured name, they use to wait for the declaration. After declaration, they collapse that name and move in with Republic of Somaliland that you are hearing today, that America grant official recognition December 26, 2025. History has repeated in the world. That is why I told you, it doesn't matter what I think, the history must repeat for us to do what? Achieve our own country. This is how it is. So I urge you this morning, as you join me, please, to like this program, share this program, let's go viral, so others will come, or those who are still confused, those who don't know what to do, please let them join us when you like and share the program, please, because those in my contact is not those in your contact. But whenever you share the program, those in your contact will get the message and they would like to come and listen. So it is very wonderful thing for us to know there is no other way. There is nothing like you have to control your land 10%, 1%, 80% of your border, of your territory before you become a sovereign state. No. It doesn't work in that way. Or if you said it works, please come with evidence to me. And I will bring evidence I have to you. Because when I mention names of countries, and in the past, they are in government in exile and they achieve what? The creation of their country. It is very important for us to look at what they did and how they got it. That is why sometimes when you are entering another class, they will tell you, look at some years past based on paper. Read them. Read it so you may understand the importance of what the teacher is teaching you if you are not doing that. So my people, it is our right in what we are doing. It is our right to do what? To fight this fight that we are fighting right now. To make sure that United States of Biafra stand despite what the enemies are trying to do. Despite all the enemies are fighting helter-skelter, trying to stop the movement, but because of Chukwu Oka-Abiyama has mandated that Biafra become a country. That is why nothing all this inconsequential is doing that are being recognized in the eyes of the international global community. I want to take a quick one that this sovereignty begins from the day you make the declaration of a new country. That is the day the sovereignty do what? Becomes action. So, what do you really make out of this? When we start playing it right now, after we share the program to those others to share, you see, then we will go into in-depth reading, and in-depth analysis. I must thank you. I must let the Biafran people to know that standing on the side of the United States of Biafra is the best thing ever that has happened to any of us. That is why we are trying to make sure that we please everybody. But at the time of pleasing you, we are not going to fall mugu or defeated from what we are doing. So let us dive into that word sovereignty. Sovereignty. That you claim you declare Biafra, you a country, but where is your sovereignty? You did not protect your border, you did not control. You don't need 1% of the border for you to become a sovereignty. Okay, thank you. You don't need 1% of your land, of your territory, for you to become a sovereignty. Bishop, good morning. You don't need to control 1% for you to become a sovereign state or claim a sovereignty. That is why it is good that you pay attention, you learn. The movement that we are into has passed the level of some of us understanding. It's not about coming social media to narrate what I think. No. It is about narrating how others achieve it, so you can follow that the same road to achieve your own. Somebody referred to America. Yes, America, despite being in their own country, not in exile, declare it. In the first time of the declaration, they did not control all their borders. And when somebody says intercontinental congressmen, what are congressmen? Congressmen are those being organized by themselves. They said, we are these people, we represent our people. That is the congressman you are hearing. The same thing Master did when we are in the federal government in exile with Bridgie, before we went to Finland and make our future declaration. Those that are in the cabinet member are the congressmen making decision. And you can also see in public that there is people over 90 or 80 something people who signed, adopted that the name that we are going to use is United States of Biafra. They become our congressmen. They do what? They become what? Our congressmen. If that's the way we are going to. Anybody who is in the government by appointee, by selection, by volunteer, becomes automatically a politician. Nobody being born a politician. Nobody being born a congressman. No, nobody. It's by selection. It's by volunteer. It's by people coming together and said, this thing is not good. Look at how we present ourselves. And they go out and present themselves in that way. People will start calling them that name. Like Masna Lekano, taking the movement. And we are calling him Onyendu. Did his father and mother born him give him Onyendu? The answer is no. But because of what he's doing, gives him that name. Once you are talking about the movement of a new country or agitating under that you want a new country, automatically all of you becomes a politician from inside you. That is why they told us it's your inalienable right to select and have your own people that are governing you. It's under your power. To form your alliance by yourself and choose that will govern you. They are part of the congressmen. And you see this man who went to Finland and make official declaration of the United States of Biafra, those who sign the document, they become our congressmen. This is how it is. If you are a politician, you may understand what I'm saying. Those that goes to Senate, do they born as a Senate? As a senators, do they? After voting, they become senators. In Nigeria, we use senators. In America, they use congressmen. Stop deceiving yourself and face reality. Face the future that is in front of you. Stop wallowing in ignorance. Stop wallowing in hatred. Stop wallowing in envy and jealousness. Stop criticizing things that are truth. Stop playing the band back and play it front. Let us move forward and reason. Research is the main thing. When we compare our criteria of having a new country with America, there is some areas, yes, it is, not in everything. But when you go to people of Namibia, gotten their independence from South Africa, we are on the same criteria, exactly. When it comes to government in exile, go and check what India did in 1907. Go and check what Pakistan did 1988. Go and check all these histories. Go and check this yesterday of Somaliland being recognized from a member of the UN 2025 after 34 years of declaring Namibia, declaring Somaliland as a country. After good 30, they waited for 34 maximum years. But as they are waiting, are they not a sovereign state? The answer remains yes. Many countries in the world did not control 1% of their land. When Namibia declared their independence in 1990, finally in Angola, from Angola they come back after the recognition and claim their sovereignty. Immediately declare, they become, out of declaration, automatically give you a sovereignty. I don't know where people are getting information and they are reasoning what we are reasoning. That is why we are here to reason for you. That is why the government is reasoning for all of us. That is why the congressmen are there for us. Our own people in the government of USB becomes our congressmen. You don't know that? No, congressmen. No, 56 men sign, 50 something. You don't even know the maximum number. It is 56 people sign that America Declaration could stand. Their sign is that America Declaration of United States of America. We must stand. That is what they did. And we have done our own. And you are here asking stupid, rubbish, ignorance question. Proving how non-entity you are. And they claim you know it all. We must continue. Now, it is a time to go into the deal of the day. Let us see. If you need, after declaration, or after you have called yourself a country, you need 1%, 10%, 50%, 30 or 80 for you to become a sovereign state. The answer is what you are going to hear right now. Not from my mouth. From those who have achieved it on their own and how it happens. That is where we are. Needed us to copy example, histories of many countries, know it and know that. Look at the way we are going to work and achieve our United States of Biafra sovereignty fully under international recognition. Upon wait for recognition, you must prove an act of a sovereignty that you are ready to govern your people, control them, handle their affairs, and implement law that controls them. That is all that you will be doing. And all these things becomes under a sovereignty. Just listen to this. On international law, if there is, listen my people, do not be deceived. If there is any minimum of 1% of territory required to become a sovereign state, let us know.
In international law, there is no minimum percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You do not need 50%, 80%, or even 10%. Instead, sovereignty is based on the effectiveness principle. If a new country declares independence, it can claim sovereignty as long as it has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if that area is just one city. 1. Why percentages don't matter? International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focuses on the quality of control, not the quantity of land. The defined territory rule, you only need to control enough land to prove you have a territorial base. There is no rule saying you must control a majority of the land you claim. Case in point, in many civil wars or independence movements, a new country might only control 20% of its claimed land, like the capital or a coastal region. But if it collects taxes, runs courts and provides security there, it is considered to have de facto sovereignty over that specific portion. 2. Can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition? Yes. Under the declarative theory of statehood, a country exists the moment it meets the physical criteria, population, territory, government, regardless of whether other countries recognize it yet. State of control, legal status, can you claim sovereignty? Control 100%, no recognition. De facto state, yes, but you will struggle with international trade and travel. Control 10%, has recognition. Sovereign state. The international community views you as the legitimate owner of the whole 100%. Control 0%, government in exile. Recognized sovereign. Yes, Some countries, like Kuwait during the 1990 invasion, remain sovereign even with zero control of their land. 3. The waiting room problem. While you can claim sovereignty without 50% control, your wait for international recognition becomes much harder if 1. The parent state is still fighting. The UN rarely recognizes a new country if the parent country is still actively trying to win the land back. This is seen as an ongoing internal conflict rather than a finished independence. 2. Lack of effective control. If your government cannot protect its borders or its people, other nations will argue you are a failed state or a rebel group rather than a sovereign country. Summary for your Monde world. If your new country only controls 5% of the land but has a functioning government and a clear border, they are legally allowed to claim they are sovereign. However, the rest of the world will likely wait to see if they can defend that 5% before offering formal recognition. Would you like me to help you describe the border or the effective government your new country has set up to prove its sovereignty?
Now, listen again before we go into analysis. Listen. Pay attention, because we are going to explain this paragraph by paragraph. We want to lay down this issue of sovereignty today.
In international law, there is no minimum percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You do not need 50%, 80%, or even 10%. Instead, sovereignty is based on the effectiveness principle. If a new country declares independence, it can claim sovereignty as long as it has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if that area is just one city. 1. Why percentages don't matter. International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focuses on the quality of control, not the quantity of land. The defined territory rule: you only need to control enough land to prove you have a territorial base. There is no rule saying you must control a majority of the land you claim. Case in point, in many civil wars or independence movements, a new country might only control 20% of its claimed land, like the capital or a coastal region. But if it collects taxes, runs courts, and provides security there, it is considered to have de facto sovereignty over that specific portion. 2. Can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition? Yes. Under the declarative theory of statehood, a country exists the moment it meets the physical criteria: population, territory, government, regardless of whether other countries recognize it yet. State of control. Legal status. Can you claim sovereignty? Control 100%, no recognition. De facto state. Yes, but you will struggle with international trade and travel. Control 10%, has recognition. Sovereign state. The international community views you as the legitimate owner of the whole 100%. Control 0%, government in exile. Recognized sovereign. Yes, some countries, like Kuwait during the 1990 invasion, remain sovereign even with zero control of their land. 3. The waiting room problem. While you can claim sovereignty without 50% control, your wait for international recognition becomes much harder if 1. The parent state is still fighting. The UN rarely recognizes a new country if the parent country is still actively trying to win the land back. This is seen as an ongoing internal conflict rather than a finished independence. 2. Lack of effective control. If your government cannot protect its borders or its people, other nations will argue you are a failed state or a rebel group rather than a sovereign country. Summary for your Monde world. If your new country only controls 5% of the land but has a functioning government and a clear border, they are legally allowed to claim they are sovereign. However, the rest of the world will likely wait to see if they can defend that 5% before offering formal recognition. Would you like me to help you describe the border or the effective government your new country has set up to prove its sovereignty?
I hope you're listening. Sovereignty everywhere. Sovereignty. You declared Biafra. You claim you're a country, but you did not control your territory. Are you a sovereign? Listen. Don't be deceived. There is a criteria. A declaration of a new country automatically gives you a sovereign state that are waiting for recognition, both local and international. Out of that declaration gives you what? A sovereignty automatically under the eyes of the international global community and under the eyes of international law. The international law says there is no minimum of percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. There is no minimum of there is no minimum of percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You will first claim the sovereignty first. You will first claim sovereignty, which is act of declaration that a new country has emerged. That is what the international that are given recognition to any declared country, or those that have declared, or even when they are in their land that did not get recognition. Somaliland waited for 34 good years for them to gain international recognition. See, you must understand, when they said international recognition, Somaliland has been, many countries have recognized them, but no member of the UN recognized them. Israel, being a member of the UN, give them the international fully what? Recognition. And they said here, listen again, international law, there is no minimum of percentage of territory required control to claim a sovereignty. You do not need 50% control, 80% control, or even 10% for you to become a sovereign state. You don't need any of this. Then the question is, what do you need to become a sovereign state? Number one question is, what do you need to become a sovereign state? Listen to this. Instead, sovereignty is based on the effective principle. Sovereignty is based on the effective principle. If a new country declared independence, it can claim a sovereignty as long as he has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if that are just one city. Deji Daga, wow. Happy New Year in advance. Good morning from Happy Sunday. Yes, Ifan Yogolu, my brother, you are welcome. Thank you so much. You and Deji Daga. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year in advance. As we are entering into the year to achieve this recognition, have faith. Your government, my government, United States of Biafra, under Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, is making it possible. Be happy and be rejoiced. Let's continue. Are you listening here? Now, on this, instead, sovereignty is based on the effective principle. If a new country declares independence, if a new country declares its independence, it can claim sovereignty. It can claim what? Sovereignty. As long as it has a stable government exercising actually authority over a defined area. Even if that area is just one city. Now, what do we get from this? This effective principle. This effective principle is what you are hearing from the office of United States of Biafra Deputy Prime Minister and all the cabinet members that are teaching others, giving instructions, telling us what to do and where we are. This is effective. This government also conducts election in Old Anambra in the 3 states called Ikemba, Omambala, and Odimegwu. This is what effective what principle of what a government that is stable to control and govern its own people. You become automatically a sovereignty waiting for international recognition. This is the procedure, this is the criteria. If you don't call yourself name, what do you want people to call you? If you did not call yourself a name, what do you want people to call you? Are you going to answer, accept what people give to you, or what you give to yourself? Hold it there. Now, let's continue. It claims sovereignty as long as it has a stable government. United States of Biafra in exile. Do we have a stable government that exercises authority over Biafra territory? Was 40 states? The answer is yes. The answer is what? Yes. Now, when you look at this article area of over a defined area, what is this defined area? The defined area is the 40 states that's made up of United States of Biafra were declared. This is defined area. This becomes the area of the government. That is why they can be able to conduct election in Old Anambra, proving effective control and stable government that is ready upon waiting for international recognition to become fully member on the international global stage. Why you are lacking recognition, or your sovereignty did not disappear because of you did not control your territory or your border, because you are just a new baby. You are just a new country. This is how he goes about it. And not, you will hear examples of countries and countries in the world. Not one, not two, not three, up to 20, 30, 40, 50 in the world that has gone through this road where we are right now. These are the things that the world put in documents. They hide it away from us. And we continuously talking from both sides of our mouths. And we continuously narrating, explaining it the way we want. No. When you go to class, you must answer teacher question that he gave to you, not the teacher to answer to carry your own. When you ask the teacher question, the teacher with the textbook must interpret that, giving you that answer depend on that textbook that class is using. Is it not true? That is what history is inside school. That is also in a movement of a new country. We must continue. Listen to this.
In international law, there is no minimum percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You do not need 50%, 80%, or even 10%. Instead, sovereignty is based on the effectiveness principle. If a new country declares independence, it can claim sovereignty as long as it has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if that area is just one city. 1. Why percentages don't matter. International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focuses on the quality of control, not the quantity of land. The defined territory rule, you only need to control enough land to prove you have a territorial base. There is no rule saying you must control a majority of the land you claim. Case in
Are you listening? Why percentage does not matter? Why percentage of how many border, of how many land, of how many this and that you control does not matter? Listen. International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focus on the quality of control. Focus on the quality of control, not the quality of land that you have controlled or protected. No. It's focus on what? Focus on quality control of what? People, human beings that are gathering under you to take order or to take instruction from you. Remark it clearly. Focus on the quality of control. Today, those are rebel in the midst of us prove that the people that they under United States of Biafra are majority. And they call us what? Stupid majority. That is how they can address us. But them that are minor majority, claiming they are in charge. And when you look at this, when we continuously going down, under this international law, under this criteria for having a new country or controlling border and territory, you will hear something that you may fully believe that your government of the United States of Biafra is doing the right thing. Is what? Doing the right thing. The defined territory rule. What is this defined territory rule? You only need to control enough land to prove you have a territory base. How do we prove that we have a territory base? By giving the 40 states name. By what? Giving the 40 states name. Through this means, we are proving that we have control our border, and also that we have border. Number one, we have territory. That is why you can name up to 40 states that are now fully registered in United States of America as a territory of United States of Biafra, proving defined territory. You only need to control enough of this. That is why we have 40. 40 is not enough to prove that we want a new country. It is enough. Land to prove you have a territory base. That is why you have what? The 40 states. The 40 states, are they not in the land? Is it not through land that we'll be able to grab our 40 states? Is it through air? The answer is no. It's through land that we grab these 40 states. That simply means the defined territory control of your own territory. Now, there is no rule saying you must control majority of this land you claim. Remember, everything remains under claim until international recognition now comes in, or until any country recognizes you. You are still claiming. But once you get this recognition from all these countries that are likely to recognize, then you become a fully... Now, you are no longer claiming anymore. You become a sovereign state because other countries can interact, do exchange of business, visit you. You go into them freely and come south. That is how you become what? You are no longer claiming the sovereign state. You have become automatically a state. Now, the sovereignty becomes fully 50% until member of the UN, and you become a full member of the UN. It becomes 100% sovereignty. Are you following? I hope you are following. Case in point. Listen.
Point. In many civil wars or independence movements, a new country might only control 20% of its claimed land, like the capital or a coastal region. But if it collects taxes, runs courts, and provides security there, it is considered to have de facto sovereignty over that specific portion.
Are you hearing it? It proves that you have sovereignty over the space portion. By who? By de facto government, which we have in the 40 states of United States of what? Biafra. In many civil war or independency movements, a new country might only control 20 or of its claimed land, like the capital of the coastal region. But if it collects tax, runs courts, and provides security there, it is considered to have de facto sovereignty over that specific portion. Now, on this area we are, you might be a little bit confused, but don't be. Let us discuss about it. Countries that are on their own country fighting for war, there must be where they are in that country to fight for this war. They said there might be only 20% based on they are there. They are not government in exile. Are you following? So on this quote or on this junction, what will actually come into your mind is, but if it collects tax today in the homeland, if you follow the 40 state WhatsApp, people are paying tax. It's also proving effective control of the government also. It's also proving that there is a government. So, let your understanding be that because of why they talk over control of 20% is that those countries are fighting this civil war, are in their territory fighting it, like America, being in their territory fighting it. Not like those that are government in exile. Their own case remain under the international law of the government in exile, the approach to achieve the new country. And achieving this new country, they said also, if it controls capital, that is when you are in the homeland fighting war. Now that we said we don't need law, we don't want to fight anybody for us to become this sovereign state, that we want it under peaceful movement of pen and paper, legal way of having it, diplomatic and the political areas of it, that simply means that we are moving forward. We are stepping what? Forward. Under this international law. Under it. So, to claim a sovereignty, you must make a declaration. Out of declaration automatically gives you power to become what? A sovereign state. You are claiming it until you assume or until you get official international recognition. Without that recognition, like the way we are as people of Biafra right now under US government, we are claiming the sovereignty. What will make the sovereignty full is when any country in this world grants recognition, like when Morocco grants America the first ever international recognition after a year and 6 months, after 1 year point 6. Morocco recognized them. After that, France come and second it, and it becomes, and France is a member already of the UN. So once they give them, they also give them equipment to supply them to make sure that they are protecting their borders. And through that means, they chase away the military of Great What? Britain. And today, America is number one in the world. When America tried to exit Great Britain, it leads to civil many wars. They fought within themselves. After that, they know that this new country is not playing the hazardous we are, that they can also achieve what we want by our seriousness. That is why you must mind things you say and do in social media. Social media have a free space to record every whatever we are doing on the ones you're talking about under this name, Biafra. You are already been mentioned with your name and you are being recorded. Are you following? Let's continue.
2. Can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition?
Now, this is our own case. Can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition? Can the United States of Biafra claim sovereignty while we are waiting for our international recognition? Listen.
Yes. Under the declarative theory of statehood, a country exists the moment it meets the physical criteria, population, territory, government, regardless of whether other countries recognize it yet.
Are you hearing it? It's there for us. It's there. Yes, you can claim a sovereignty while waiting for recognition. That is what we want our people to understand. This particular area, this particular paragraph, we are on it right now. This is the main area that brought us here today. One of the most important aspects of what you need to know is this. Osiri, can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition after your declaration? He said, yes. Under the declaration theory of stakehold, of you making a declaration of a stakehold, a country exists the moment it met physical criteria. Did the United States of Biafra met the physical criteria? I am one of them, proving that we have met this physical what? Criteria to become a sovereign that we are claiming that we are. Are you listening? Because it's not what we think, it's how they think about it and how they put this record for you is what you will follow, not what we Biafra people think. Let's continue. A country exists the moment it meets physical criteria, population. Only the population that's on our self-referendum vote, only that population that went to Finland to declare this declaration of the United States of Biafra becomes the eyewitness, become the world to see them that there is a physical permanent population today. Coming to fundraising to support is also proving that there is a permanent population which is physical that the world are asking for you to become a sovereignty. Are you following? For you to become population territory government, regardless of whether the country recognizes it yet. Despite whether this country has they recognized or not, it becomes what? A sovereign state. Until you get recognition from a country. That is when automatically you have claimed the full sovereignty. And those that are torturing you, those and your country of like Nigeria, can be able to live in our own area, so we can be able to take position and possess everything within ourselves. Are you following? Let's continue.
State of control. Legal status. Can you claim sovereignty? Control 100%, no recognition. De facto state. Yes, but you will struggle with international trade and travel. Control 10%, has recognition. Sovereign state. The international community views you as the legitimate owner of the whole 100%. Control 0%, government in exile. Recognized sovereign. Yes, some countries, like Kuwait during the 1990 invasion, remain sovereign even with zero control of their land.
Are you hearing it? Now they just so we are to Kuwait. Kuwait is a country. Type on your phone Kuwait, they will give you Kuwait and the population of Kuwait. They said was, yes, some countries like Kuwait during the 1990 invasion remained sovereignty even when zero control of their land. No zero control of the land of the Kuwait, but they become a sovereign state because of declaration before the invasion of their country. They become what? They said control of their land or their border, zero. You will not hear it though. That Kuwait did not control one, and they have government in exile. Kuwait government in exile. They make what? Their declaration in Algeria. These are criteria we must follow. This is how you become a country. This is how what? We become a country. Control, zero. Recognition, no. Government in exile, sovereign. They become sovereignty in exile after the official war to declaration in Algeria. 1990. This 1990, many countries emerged. That was the same 1990 that Namibia emerged as a country. That is the same 1990 Namibia emerged as a country. The same 1990 that's what? That there was invasion. And because of this war and because of becoming a new country, they did not control 1%. They said it here. Control of land, zero. Government in exile, Kuwait. Recognition, sovereignty. They first recognize themselves. They are a sovereignty before the world will come. Easy way. Good morning, I can see you. I see you. Good morning from Happy New Year, my brother. Thank you so much. Now, I hope you heard it clearly. Listen to this. State of control, legal status. Control 100%, no recognition, de facto government. Yes, but you will struggle with international trading and the traveling. After you have control your 100% and there's no recognition, what happens? You are not a state. You are just what? They said what here? That yes, but you will struggle with international trade. Now, you have the countries that are thinking, oh, the federal government, we have get achievement 100%. The countries that are going to give recognition might not be able to ready to give it to you. You got to wait, like what happened to Somaliland, that Israel give recognition 26th of December 2025. Listen and learn. Let us educate ourselves. Let us know the criteria so we will know how to push very fast. Now Nigeria is a mess. To achieve our future recognition becomes a sovereignty fully that nobody will attack us anymore. If you attack us, the world will talk and the world will come to our rescue. That is why things that you must know. Let's continue. 3.
The waiting room problem. While you can claim sovereignty without 50% control, your wait for international recognition becomes much harder if
you can claim sovereignty without 50% control. You will wait for international world recognition. What of those that have claimed it in the past? Do you know that some countries claim this, like people of Somaliland today? They are 21st century example of how everything works. They are what? Exact example of what we are passing through today. Now let us continue. You wait for what? Claiming sovereignty, you wait for international recognition because of much. It's going to become much harder. If you waited for so long without proving declaration, then you on your own. Okay, you're welcome. Jukes, thank you for coming here. Let's continue.
1. The parent state is still fighting. The UN rarely recognizes a new country if the parent country is still actively trying to win the land back. This is seen as an ongoing internal conflict rather than a finished independence.
Are you hearing it? I hope you are here with me. Number one, the present state is still fighting, which is Nigeria government. They are still fighting. The UN present country is still actively trying to win the land back. This is seen as an ongoing internal conflict rather than a finished independence. What do they mean here? Let me ask you, Nigeria, after our declaration, are they not still fighting us? Are they not still fighting us, Nigeria? They are still fighting us. Seriously. Now, the UN really recognize a new country if the present country is still active, trying to win the land back, like what Nigeria government is doing, trying to take over our land. And we do what? We say no as we are fighting. Then our no draws attention of the international global community to know that this particular person did not commit any crime. Rather, he is fighting, looking for recognition for a new country. And now UN will intervene into the matter. Are you following? This is how it goes.
2. Lack of effective control. If your government cannot protect its borders or its people, other nations will argue you are a failed state or a rebel group rather than a sovereign country.
This works on those that make a declaration in their own territory, and they could not be able to do that. Not someone who makes from exile and proving effective control by conducting an election, proving security, Biafra army in the homeland. These are the things that the world need to know about us. And how do they know it without us saying it? We have a government that is controlled, which is United States of Biafra, under the leadership of the Kongozo Arabeze, that woman in America. She is the one. So, government cannot protect its border like Nigeria. Nigeria cannot protect their border because of Biafran people or its people. Other nations, we argue, you are a failed state or rebel group. Are you following? Are you with me? There are things we have to understand. It doesn't play the way we want it, but it must play the way they want it. That is why it is important for you to know all this and follow it step by step for us to achieve what we are looking for. So, Nigeria becomes a failed state because of they cannot protect their border, they cannot protect the citizens. Rather, rebel group is doing what? Wiping people away, despite any other thing. So, for us, our own is not going to be this way. That is why we are fighting to exit Nigeria finally. Listen.
Summary for your Monde world. If your new country only controls 5% of the land but has a functioning government and a clear border, they are legally allowed to claim they are sovereign. However, the rest of the world will likely wait to see if they can defend that 5% before offering formal recognition. Would you like me to help you describe the border or the effective government your new country has set up to prove its sovereignty?
Are you listening? In summary, for your modern words having a new country, if your new country only controls 5% of their land but has a functioning government and a clear border, they are legal allowed to claim this they are sovereignty. However, the rest of the world will likely to wait to see if they can defend the 5% before offering a formal recognition. Now, controlling, you have had it clearly here. And after that, because of those that are fighting in their area, stand, that even though they control 5%, it's okay. They will put everything in order. So, my people, I want to know that when we hear about sovereignty, what it simply means. I will play it once again before we go into another session. Listen to it.
In international law, there is no minimum percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You do not need 50%, 80%, or even 10%. Instead, sovereignty is based on the effectiveness principle. If a new country declares independence, it can claim sovereignty as long as it has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if that area is just one city. 1. Why percentages don't matter. International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focuses on the quality of control, not the quantity of land. The defined territory rule: you only need to control enough land to prove you have a territorial base. There is no rule saying you must control a majority of the land you claim. Case in point, in many civil wars or independence movements, a new country might only control 20% of its claimed land, like the capital or a coastal region. But if it collects taxes, runs courts, and provides security there, it is considered to have de facto sovereignty over that specific portion. 2. Can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition? Yes. Under the declarative theory of statehood, a country exists the moment it meets the physical criteria: population, territory, government, regardless of whether other countries recognize it yet. State of control. Legal status. Can you claim sovereignty? Control 100%, no recognition. De facto state. Yes, but you will struggle with international trade and travel. Control 10%, has recognition. Sovereign state. The international community views you as the legitimate owner of the whole 100%. Control 0%, government in exile. Recognized sovereign. Yes, some countries, like Kuwait during the 1990 invasion, remain sovereign even with zero control of their land. 3. The waiting room problem. While you can claim sovereignty without 50% control, your wait for international recognition becomes much harder if 1. The parent state is still fighting. The UN rarely recognizes a new country if the parent country is still actively trying to win the land back. This is seen as an ongoing internal conflict rather than a finished independence. 2. Lack of effective control. If your government cannot protect its borders or its people, other nations will argue you are a failed state or a rebel group rather than a sovereign country. Summary for your Monde world. If your new country only controls 5% of the land but has a functioning government and a clear border, they are legally allowed to claim they are sovereign. However, the rest of the world will likely wait to see if they can defend that 5% before offering formal recognition. Would you like me to help you describe the border or the effective government your new country has set up to prove its sovereignty?
Do you hear it? When people said, what of people that recognize us during time of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, that is why I will tell you that they are watching out. They also seen how we are handling this our internal affair right now, social media. They are doing what? Watching us, looking at us, observing the movement of USB to understand if what happened before will happen again. Now, it is in our own hands to prove to them that such a thing will not happen again. When people of Zambia recognized Biafra in 1960 to 1970, that one is through war. Now, we have turned back again to declare that the same state that Zambia recognized in 1970 to 1970. That nobody had right to stop our recognition. Remember, 1967 to 1970, British president in London was the one who blocked everything about United States of Biafra international recognition. If Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu and the men on that time stand on the first recognition they get from the first state, by now, you would have zoomed off over all these years. But because of accepting to reintegrate into Nigeria back, is why we are still going through this process again. Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu said before he departed, he said that Biafra will come from diaspora. And in his last word, he said, Pharaoh, which is Nigeria, let my people go to their promised land. which is where United States of Biafra were declared. Ojukwu did not first get international recognition before he declares Biafra. No. In the midst of that war, he got it. Remember what happened in Aburi Accord. In Aburi Accord, there is no agreement to declare Biafra. But the agreement is that allow every state to have power on their own and bringing something to central or capital. On their way back, coming back, a call comes through and they said, no, we will allow. That if we allow them to take that power, we cannot be in control of the oil well anymore. We will lose it. And that is why Ojukwu said, I can't watch you clean my people. Upon no arrangement, no preparement, no things has been getting down, he declared Biafra as a country and they fought for 3 years for it. Think of now that we have well prepared than the way we were before. Despite your saboteurs, despite your rebel movement, it cannot stop the movement because the world knows what is happening, that after a new country is being declared, there is those who are going to step aside from the government. It happens to America. It happens to Namibia people. It happens to Eritrea. It happens to Kenya. It happens to many countries in Africa. So we are not going to be the first, neither are we going to be the last. Remember about what I discussed today, that there is no 1, 10, 5, 20, 100, 80% you will control before you become a sovereignty. A sovereignty is out of claim after you have made 1 or 2 or 3 movement under diplomatic to make that you shift the new country. Let's continue, my people. One minute. Because we want to go round and round and round and so forth. Those are bringing such questions so you can practice without wasting time. Listen on this.
In international law, there is no specific percentage, like 50% or 80%, that a country must control to be considered sovereign. Instead, international law looks for effective control. The standard for what makes a country is primarily defined by the Montevideo Convention of 1933. To be recognized as a state, an entity needs 1. A permanent population. 2. A defined territory. 3. A government. 4. The capacity to enter into relations with other states. 1. The effective control test. Rather than a mathematical percentage, international law uses the effective control test. This means the government must demonstrate that it actually functions as the sole authority in the area it claims. Stability over scale. You don't need to control every inch of your claimed borders, but you must have a stable enough grip that you can enforce laws and protect the population. Competing claims. If a rebel group controls 90% of a country, but the original government still holds the capital and has international support, the rebels are often still not considered sovereign because their control is seen as temporary or illegal. 2. De jure versus de facto sovereignty. The monde, or world stage, distinguishes between these two types of control. De facto, in practice, you have boots on the ground and run the post office, schools, and police. You might control 100% of the land, but if no other country recognizes you, like Somaliland, you lack international sovereignty. De jure, by law, you are recognized by the UN and other nations as the rightful owner. A government in exile might control 0% of its territory, but still be considered the sovereign representative of that nation in the eyes of the law. 3. Why percentages aren't used? Using a fixed percentage would create legal chaos. For example, if a country lost 51% of its land in a sudden invasion, it would technically cease to exist overnight if a 50% rule existed. Many countries have disputed borders, like India, Pakistan, or Israel/Palestine, where neither side controls 100% of the territory they claim, yet both are fully recognized sovereign states. Summary table. Criterion. Requirement. Land control must be effective and stable, not a specific percentage. Borders must be defined, though they can be under dispute. Recognition. Highly important. Usually requires a vote by the UN Security Council. In short, you could control 100% of a territory and still not be a sovereignty if the international community views your occupation as illegal, or you could control 10% and remain sovereign if you are the internationally recognized government fighting a civil war. Would you like me to explain how a new country specifically gains recognition from the United Nations?
Do you listen very carefully? I will play this second section again so you can listen with your ear. You will see when it's look like the words about the thing is trying to contradict each other, but they will make it plain openly for you. Please, as you join me, please like and share the program, please. I urge you to like and share the program. If you are just joining, there is a 3 dot in front of you. Click on that 3 dots. It will open. You will like, then you share the program. That is all you can do for me. Please endeavor to do that. So others will know that we are treating this matter of sovereignty finally today to put it on to lay it down to rest. Not when somebody come every time, hey, you declare Biafra, you claim your state, but it not control your border. For them to see that it's not a criteria of having a new country. It's not the criteria for you to have a new country. Listen again.
In international law, there is no specific percentage, like 50% or 80%, that a country must control to be considered sovereign. Instead, international law looks for effective control. The standard for what makes a country is primarily defined by the Montevideo Convention of 1933. To be recognized as a state, an entity needs 1. A permanent population. 2. A defined territory. 3. A government. 4. The capacity to enter into relations with other states. 1. The effective control test. Rather than a mathematical percentage, international law uses the effective control test. This means the government must demonstrate that it actually functions as the sole authority in the area it claims. Stability over scale. You don't need to control every inch of your claimed borders, but you must have a stable enough grip that you can enforce laws and protect the population. Competing claims. If a rebel group controls 90% of a country, but the original government still holds the capital and has international support, the rebels are often still not considered sovereign because their control is seen as temporary or illegal. 2. De jure versus de facto sovereignty. The monde, or world stage, distinguishes between these two types of control. De facto, in practice, you have boots on the ground and run the post office, schools, and police. You might control 100% of the land, but if no other country recognizes you, like Somaliland, you lack international sovereignty. De jure, by law, you are recognized by the UN and other nations as the rightful owner. A government in exile might control 0% of its territory, but still be considered the sovereign representative of that nation in the eyes of the law. 3. Why percentages aren't used? Using a fixed percentage would create legal chaos.
Remember the English here. Why percentage do not use? Why percentage of control of border or territory or land did not use in the international law and in the international communities? They did not use percent control to claim a sovereignty.
For example, if a country lost 51% of its land in a sudden invasion, it would technically cease to exist overnight if a 50% rule existed. Many countries have disputed borders, like India, Pakistan, or Israel/Palestine, where neither side controls 100% of the territory they claim, yet both are fully recognized sovereign states. Summary table. Criterion. Requirement. Land control must be effective and stable, not a specific percentage. Borders must be defined, though they can be under dispute. Recognition. Highly important.
Border can be defined, but might be under dispute. That is why they told that they don't use the percentage of control of that border is under dispute to justify a sovereignty. They did not use the border because they said that after the declaration that the border will be under dispute, problems, dragging it with Nigeria. Because of after the declaration that we did not be able to drag it out from Nigeria, or Nigeria is controlling all, like the other one said yesterday, hey, Nigeria will come to Anambra and arrest somebody, nobody will say anything. That Nigeria military is all over. Yes, that is dispute they're talking about. Then, how the question is supposed to be asking, how could dispute be controlled? And what will put an end to the dispute? Now it is clearly that nobody use percentage to claim a sovereignty, but you claim a sovereignty by declaration, number one, by having effective control, by defining your territory that are into dispute, which is 40 states, claiming effective government that gives order, control the people, and also apply laws to the citizens despite living home or in abroad. Because when you start asking some questions that you yourself could find by yourself, you are making mockery of yourself in social media. That is the pure truth. On the stage you are into right now, there is questions that don't need to ask, but when they ask, because of our willingness to of inclusive of all, we want you to understand it. So after giving you those criteria and those things, be said to you, you want to say something that is somehow. That is not like somehow. It is what it is, whether I like it or not. You can't change the facts. So let us continue.
Usually requires a vote by the UN Security Council. In short, you could control 100% of a territory and still not be a sovereignty if the international community views your occupation as illegal, or you could control 10% and remain sovereign if you are the internationally recognized government fighting a civil war. Would you like me to explain how a new country specifically gains recognition from the United Nations?
Okoko name. Good morning from here. Happy New Year in advance. Yes, like you said, that is why our people, all these fallback, all these CRC gangsters, when they are talking, you ask them, are they not with PM in the first place? But one of the things prove that they are not genuine. When we talk about rebel here, do you see that the international global community know that after the creation of a new country, there is those called what? Rebel. It even says that if the rebel try to control 10% of that territory, that they can never got what? Support from international recognition, because they are not the one that made the declaration of that new country. And when you are fighting someone who stood up, make official, openly declaration of a new country that the world know, and you are fighting against that person, the world said that they are seeing you as a rebel, that even if you claim that you are in control of that territory, that they will not recognize Ogenkere, Mamadou Abu, and all these groups. Call them by the name. The world will see Ogenkere as rebel. The world will see Mamadou Abu as a rebel. Because he deviated from the declaration of the new country, and someone that stood up make this declaration of a new country is alive, and there is video evidence everywhere that this is the person. The person becomes the highest rank after the prime minister, and with every alacrity, with every criteria of a government structure, it's automatically that when the PM is not there, that the chief of staff is in charge, because she is the highest authority. If the prime minister or the president are not there, the chief of staff becomes the highest authority. In position of a government, either you use president, prime minister, the third in command is the chief of staff. Every other structure is under the chief of staff. Every other office is under the chief of staff. So that is why the world can easily look at Imam Madu, who is up to today working with Uche Mefo. Look at Imam Madu up to today. Imam Madu was brought up by Uche Mefo. And you know who's Uche Mefo? Uche Mefo, who deviated from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the president of this movement. And that is somebody that Imam Madu is working with till today. Look at the example. I have evidence. What I'm saying. Look at Imam Madu today. The action is taken. And look at what Uche Mefo is doing. Uche Mefo is the master of Imam Madu till today. Because he departed from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when Uche Mefo walked away from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He walked away with him, and he's also among those who broadcast called IPOB under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu manner of names in the past. And today he's the one claiming. Look at it when Uche Mefo, Asari Dokubo, Owazurike formed a parallel government in the homeland. Imam Madu was there bringing information from Abato Obiye cabinet and sending it outside and pretending that he's not working with them. So if you look at the way Uche Mefo, Asari Dokubo, Uche Kanu, and Owazurike form a parallel government in the homeland then, the same thing is what Imam Madu is doing today into this movement that we are into. After our declaration, that is what Imam Madu represents. Imam Madu is full body from Uche Mefo. Imam Madu of the CRC, claiming government of this and that, is what? Getting information to destroy the declaration through the way Uche Mefo think that he is going to destroy Mazi Nnamdi Kanu where he left. The same rule, the same method is what he is representing today. Please, 1 minute. My people, it is very important that you are listening to this. A lot is going on, a lot is happening. So, Imam Madu thinks that he can hide forever. He thinks that his secret cannot be able to leak outside who he is and who is giving him instruction of what he's doing. I pity you that you joined him without knowing his master. I pity you that join Imam Madu without knowing who he's working for and who is giving information of all he's doing. Who is giving Imam Madu all information of what he's doing and who is giving him the criteria he used to try to destroy himself, thought that he will destroy the government. When it's come to the movement of a new country, Imam Madu did not fall anywhere to take or to lead in this movement. In a criteria of a government in exile, the criteria of a government in the homeland, in the criteria of a government that have officially become a fully country, he did not meet any of them. Like Ogen did not meet any of it. Because there is chief of staff already, which is child of necessity in the movement. Chief of staff becomes child of necessity in the movement. So, let's continue. Remember what we are doing. We want to lay rest, finally, lay to rest all this issue of internet of you did not control your land 20%. Nigeria Metro is there, and you are claiming your sovereignty. Listen to this. One bongo, one mugu, sna bongo na kugeri.
In international law, there is no specific percentage, like 50% or 80%, that a country must control to be considered sovereign. Instead, international law looks for effective control. The standard for what makes a country is primarily defined by the Montevideo Convention of 1933. To be recognized as a state, an entity needs 1. A permanent population. 2. A defined territory. 3. A government. 4. The capacity to enter into relations with other states. 1. The effective control test. Rather than a mathematical percentage, international law uses the effective control test. This means the government must demonstrate that it actually functions as the sole authority in the area it claims. Stability over scale. You don't need to control every inch of your claimed borders, but you must have a stable enough grip that you can enforce laws and protect the population. Competing claims.
Just.
If a rebel group controls 90% of a country, but the original government still holds the capital and has international support, the rebels are often still not considered sovereign because their control is seen as temporary or illegal. 2. De jure versus de facto sovereignty. The monde, or world stage, distinguishes between these two types of control. De facto, in practice, you have boots on the ground and run the post office, schools, and police. You might control 100% of the land, but if no other country recognizes you, like Somaliland, you lack international sovereignty. De jure, by law, you are recognized by the UN and other nations as the rightful owner. A government in exile might control 0% of its territory, but still be considered the sovereign representative of that nation in the eyes of the law. 3. Why percentages aren't used? Using a fixed percentage would create legal chaos. For example, if a country lost 51% of its land in a sudden invasion, it would technically cease to exist overnight if a 50% rule existed. Many countries have disputed borders, like India, Pakistan, or Israel/Palestine, where neither side controls 100% of the territory they claim, yet both are fully recognized sovereign states. Summary table. Criterion. Requirement. Land control must be effective and stable, not a specific percentage. Borders must be defined, though they can be under dispute. Recognition. Highly important, usually requires a vote by the UN Security Council. In short, you could control 100% of a territory and still not be a sovereignty if the international community views your occupation as illegal, or you could control 10% and remain sovereign if you are the internationally recognized government fighting a civil war. Would you like me to explain how a new country specifically gains recognition from the United Nations? In international law, there is no specific percentage, like 50% or 80%, that a country must control to be considered sovereign. Instead, international law looks for effective control. The standard for what makes a country is primarily defined by the Montevideo Convention of 1933. To be recognized as a state, an entity needs 1. A permanent population. 2. A defined territory. 3. A government. 4. The capacity to enter into relations with other states. 1. The effective control test. Rather than a mathematical percentage, international law uses the effective control test. This means the government must demonstrate that it actually functions as the sole authority in the area it claims. Stability over scale. You don't need to control every inch of your claimed borders, but you must have a stable enough grip that you can enforce laws and protect the population. Competing claims. If a rebel group controls 90% of a country, but the original government still holds the capital and has international support, the rebels are often still not considered sovereign because their control is seen as temporary or illegal. 2. De jure versus de facto sovereignty. The monde, or world stage, distinguishes between these two types of control. De facto, in practice, you have boots on the ground and run the post office, schools, and police. You might control 100% of the land, but if no other country recognizes you, like Somaliland, you lack international sovereignty. De jure, by law, you are recognized by the UN and other nations as the rightful owner. A government in exile might control 0% of its territory, but still be considered the sovereign representative of that nation in the eyes of the law. 3. Why percentages aren't used? Using a fixed percentage would create legal chaos. For example, if a country lost 51% of its land in a sudden invasion, it would technically cease to exist overnight if a 50% rule existed. Many countries have disputed borders, like India, Pakistan, or Israel/Palestine, where neither side controls 100% of the territory they claim, yet both are fully recognized sovereign states. Summary table. Criterion. Requirement. Land control must be effective and stable, not a specific percentage. Borders must be defined, though they can be under dispute. Recognition. Highly important. Usually requires a vote by the UN Security Council. In short, you could control 100% of a territory and still not be a sovereignty if the international community views your occupation as illegal, or you could control 10% and remain sovereign if you are the internationally recognized government fighting a civil war. Would you like me to explain how a new country specifically gains recognition from the United Nations? In international law, there is no specific percentage, like 50% or 80%, that a country must control to be considered sovereign. Instead, international law looks for effective control. The standard for what makes a country is primarily defined by the Montevideo Convention of 1933. To be recognized as a state, an entity needs 1. A permanent population. 2. A defined territory. 3. A government. 4. The capacity to enter into relations with other states. 1. The effective control test. Rather than a mathematical percentage, international law uses the effective control test. This means the government must demonstrate that it actually functions as the sole authority in the area it claims. Stability over scale. You don't need to control every inch of your claimed borders, but you must have a stable enough grip that you can enforce laws and protect the population. Competing claims. If a rebel group controls 90% of a country, but the original government still holds the capital and has international support, the rebels are often still not considered sovereign because their control is seen as temporary or illegal. 2. De jure versus de facto sovereignty. The monde, or world stage, distinguishes between these two types of control. De facto, in practice, you have boots on the ground and run the post office, schools, and police. You might control 100% of the land, but if no other country recognizes you, like Somaliland, you lack international sovereignty. De jure, by law, you are recognized by the UN and other nations as the rightful owner. A government in exile might control 0% of its territory, but still be considered the sovereign representative of that nation in the eyes of the law. 3. Why percentages aren't used? Using a fixed percentage would create legal chaos. For example, if a country lost 51% of its land in a sudden invasion, it would technically cease to exist overnight if a 50% rule existed. Many countries have disputed borders, like India, Pakistan, or Israel/Palestine, where neither side controls 100% of the territory they claim, yet both are fully recognized sovereign states. Summary table. Criterion. Requirement. Land control must be effective and stable, not a specific percentage. Borders must be defined, though they can be under dispute. Recognition. Highly important. Usually requires a vote by the UN Security Council. In short, you could control 100% of a territory and still not be a sovereignty if the international community views your occupation as illegal, or you could control 10% and remain sovereign if you are the internationally recognized government fighting a civil war. Would you like me to explain how a new country specifically gains recognition from the United Nations? In international law, there is no specific percentage, like 50% or 80%, that a country must control to be considered sovereign. Instead, international law looks for effective control. The standard for what makes a country is primarily defined by the Montevideo Convention of 1933. To be recognized as a state, an entity needs 1. A permanent population. 2. A defined territory. 3. A government. 4. The capacity to enter into relations with other states. 1. The effective control test. Rather than a mathematical percentage, international law uses the effective control test. This means the government must demonstrate that it actually functions as the sole authority in the area it claims.
Yes, sorry for the wasting time. Emergency come up, but we are done with that. Brother Johnson, you're welcome. NJ Iwu, you're welcome. Okafo, you're welcome. Nwabu Udoka, you are welcome. Thank you so much. What we are doing is to let those who are still arguing about sovereignty to know that when it's come to the level of for Biafra, for USB to achieve recognition. It's not what I think. It's not even in my capacity at all. It's not what I reason. No. It's what the international community and their criteria that we have to meet for us to achieve it is the main thing. And when you look everything that surrenders it, you had a government in exile can, without controlling 0% of their territory, they have become a sovereignty. And they can also be grants international recognition based on the legal aspects. That is why today, when you dive into Washington DC, try to look into what government is doing. Everything that United States of Biafra is doing, they are doing it under what? Legal. Everything about this movement of Biafra has been legalized by US government, by Gozo Arabese and his cabinet members. I must state it because I have searched and see there is things I won't read out because I try to hijack something. Let me understand what they are doing in Washington DC. And when I go deep down, I said tears of joy roll out of me because of what? The achievements of giving me hope that the United States of Biafra is taking me home with recognition very, very soon. Present now on your phone, it is very simple. Type Washington DC first and add what is Dr. Ngozi Arabese in the name United States of Biafra doing for international recognition. 1. It will give you the answer. Type it on Google. It's everywhere. It's no only longer in the archive. I said it's everywhere. Then type also what is Ogechukwu Nkere doing in Washington DC. Only to check hand with Congressman what he's type. I don't know, just type it. Upgraded, you are welcome. Thank you so much. See, it's just type this thing I'm telling you. There is nothing about recognition. He's only going to Washington to check hand and talk to congressmen. He claimed that is how they know him. So you will understand why USB government, without controlling 1%, once you prove effective government through legal paper and the proving authority to the citizens of the country that you are controlling. Do you know number one evidence of effective government? Do you see this election being controlled in old Anambra, proving that there is effective government physically, not on paper? It's also another way of proving effective control of a government in exile is by, from there, diplomatic movement of the government, because congressmen cannot give us international recognition. They can only sample us as a market. Then we will use our hand to achieve every other thing that remains by the government proving that they are effective, that they are in control, that they are the one controlling their people, giving them order, knocking law. Our government of the USB has proven one on that aspect by putting United States of Biafra law in Amazon, where the whole world can buy and see the constitution of the United States of Biafra incoming, as we are waiting for our future recognition. While you are waiting for recognition, you must prove effective control and claim a sovereignty that you are already in existence, waiting for recognition. When you see some people trying to narrate what they don't know, there will be a mistake. If you doubt what I'm saying, why that when you send a child to school, you buy that child a textbook? Why buying a child a textbook to read in the school? That is why we must read the history of those who have achieved what we are about to achieve. If school is about teacher to come to narrate what he taught and what he think, no one is going to school. Because your parents can equally narrate the way they want and use and pass road. But is it the actual sense in the nearest future where you are heading to? The answer becomes no. So the US government right now is in school reading to graduate. What's our graduation? International recognition becomes the graduation. That is the everlasting endpoint for long-time agitation of IPOB organization. USB is the endpoint of endless agitation of IPOB without points proven. So now you can hear it clearly that there is no way you must control your land 50, 30, 21% before you claim sovereignty. They give us an example. In this rule to claim a sovereignty, with the law guiding having a new country, they said there is nothing like controlling 1%, 20, 30, 40, 50 before you claim sovereignty. But rather, there is what they prove, that once you are on these 4 criteria, you are automatic a sovereign state that's waiting for what Somaliland waited for 34 good years by in their midst. They have their currency, they have their passports, they have their ID card, they have the citizen, they have the way we are training our army and our police right now. They have achieved all this. Yes, on 26th of December, Israel give them first ever international recognition. Where are you getting what you are claiming and the narrative you are sending outside? Where are you getting it from? Every mathematics has equation to solve it. Is it not true? There is what you use to solve every mathematics. Forming a new country is like that. These laws, this comparison becomes the equation we use to solve what? This mathematics. To have a new country. To achieve recognition. To claim a sovereignty. These are what we need to know on our own. So you can stand and be happy. As we are entering New Year, I am telling you, I am telling us, go and celebrate New Year. That USB is taking us home. It takes Somaliland how many years? 34. It's not going to take us 5 years. And we become who we're supposed to be, that was missing in the world. This is what I want us to know. These are truths. Yes. Is it Greg Chinedu? You are welcome. Happy Sunday to you, my brother. And also Happy New Year in advance. Thank you. Okay, Sunday Chinedu, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. So let us listen to this. In international law, there is no specific percentage like 50%, 10%, 80%, 100% that a country must control, a new country must control before considering sovereignty. Before considering what? Sovereignty. Please, as you join us, I urge you to please like and share the program if you never do that. There is a 3 dots in front of you. Click on that 3 dots. On your right hand side, the way I am pointing my hand, you will see like and share. That is the only thing you can do for me on this program. Comments and also share. Like the program so others will come and join us. Madam Ngozi, good morning from here. Happy New Year in advance. Okay, thank you so much. Mazuri Biafra TV. To all Genu Biafrans, yes, so we also wish you the same as we are about to enter into the year that our first recognition, whether international or local, will hit us. We are praying towards that, and we are going to see and confirm because we have a government. We are on the topic of how many percent can you recover or control before you become a sovereign state or before you claim sovereign state. I refresh again. In the international law, there is no specific percentage like 50%, 80, 30, 40, 50 that a new country must control before considering sovereignty or sovereign. Instead, international law look for effective control. They stand for what makes a country is primarily defined by Montevideo Convention 1933 to be recognized as a state, as an entity, needed a sovereignty. Number 1, a permanent population. Today, you and I on the comment section becomes, and those the homeland becomes this permanent population. Number 1, we have met it. A defined territory. We have to identify our territory, which is the 40 states, which one of 3 of the states I know very well is my own, from here, my own state. Ikemba, Omambala, and Odimegu. They are states. We have defined the territory that you want us to control. You first defined it first before controlling it. Now, a government that are controlling us from the United States of Biafra government, dishing out laws, putting things for us, introducing ID card, passports, currency. Upon waiting for recognition, you become a sovereignty. The capacity to enter into relation with other states. You must be a state before you can talk to the president of a state. You cannot be a group while talking to the president of a state. No, nobody does that. This is what the law proved to you. And by doing this, you will become a sovereignty or a sovereign state. This is how the laws that are going to recognition. The Biafra we are working for, or we are looking for, or we are waiting for, is Biafra that comes from diaspora or under the international law, not under my thoughts, not under what I know, not under how I see it. It's a Biafra that will come from foreign countries. Chukwuemeka Odumegwu said, Pharaoh, let my people go. And he also said that Biafra will come from diaspora. That is the words of our internal leader, the first president of the United States of Biafra, that was felled 1967 to 1970. We must continue. Now listen. Number 1, the effective control test. Rather than mathematic percentage, are you hearing it? Rather than mathematic percentage, international law use effective control test or task. That means that the government must demonstrate that actually functioning as sole authority in the area it claims. Today, if they ask you if Biafra government is effective controlling Biafra territory, what are you going to say? The answer is no. The answer is yes. The only that we are looking for is what? This of facial recognition that give us the power to chase Nigeria away anyhow. And also said, in the area of a new country, the territory must be under dispute. Being under dispute does not stop you from being a sovereignty. Being under dispute, under challenge, like Nigerian government, military, police, trying to maneuver our areas, does not stop us from being what? Sovereignty. Because they knew there will be a challenge after a new country has been declared, that the present country we are stepping aside from will not just allow us to go like that. Please, if you are here, if you never like the program, I think you need to like the program, if you may. And also, there is a thumbs up love for the page or for the YouTube to know that people are listening, people love what we are doing. So please, that's only that thumbs up. It does not remove money from your internet or from your account. Please, if you may. So now we continue. Stability over cell. You don't need to control even inch. You don't need to control even inch of your claimed border. You don't need to control even inch of the claimed border. Now listen, but you must have a stable enough gap that you can enforce law and protect the population. Biafra government is enforcing law on us, controlling us. Is it not true? Please say in the comment section. Now, do you hear what they said? They said here, remember from this number one or this one, they said the effective control test, rather than a mathematic percentage of 80, 20, 30, 40% of your territory, international law use the effective control test. This means the government must demonstrate that it's actually function as self-authority in the area it claims of this our 40 states that we claim that is our own. Listen to this. Stable over cells. You do not need to control even 1 inch of your claimed borders, but you must have a stable enough grip that you can enforce law and protect the population of the citizens of this new country. Today, the government will tell us, sit at home. We will do that. The government will tell us we need to remove the Nigeria flag. We do that. The government will tell us that people of Biafra, you have to contribute money for us to achieve our recognition. We are doing that. They also told us that you also see there is military in the Biafra land. They're also giving training. These are part of controlling and protecting the population. Even us in exile, when anything happens to us, the government will write to the government of the country where we are. It's our own. That is not like that. It's like this. And those countries will listen and they will leave us to stay. It's also controlling the world population. They said, control population, human being, not land. Control permanent population of human being, not a land, is the criteria for you to claim sovereignty. And without wasting time, the government of the United States of Biafra is meeting all these criteria that we are going in here. Listen to this. Completely claiming, if the rebel group do you see that international community knows that when a new country is being declared, there will be a rebel group, Ogechukwu Nkere, Imam Maduabu, Faceless Unite, Adandocho, some IPOB who refused to accept this declaration. They are all rebel in the eyes of the international global community, who are going to give us recognition, like Israel giving Somaliland on 26th of December. These are pure truths. These are facts and figures that we have to understand. That we have to know them. It is the right of the people to know that. That is why I am proud to be a citizen of United States of Biafra. That is why. And for a very long time, Cosmas, you are welcome. Thanks so much. Hope you are good. Do you know that the international community knows that when a new country is being declared, that there must be rebel? And that is where Ogechukwu and Imam Maduabu then fall in. And anybody who is talking against our declaration, look at, I want to get something from him. He says, competing, okay, Imam Maduabu them. Competing, claiming. What happened here? They said, if rebel group controls 90% of a country, but original government still hold their capital and the international support, the rebel are often still not considered a sovereign because the control is seen as temporary or illegal. That the control of all this kind of IPOB, Ogenkere, Imam Maduabu, CRC, and the fallback bridge, that the world sees as what? As temporary, are not legal. It is illegal. But the government that Libas Ongozora who made declaration, no matter that if Ogenkere, Imam Maduabu, CRC, or IPOB claiming that they have met 90%, that the world will say, hell no, you are a rebel. You are illegal. Choice of somebody who was financial minister in a position where you have chief of staff and come to claim that he's the Atem ATM. The world is seeing Ogenkere as rebel. I have evidence of how where they tag Ogenkere in America in a history making. You must ask a question sometimes. How do you get all this information? I do deep things, deep research that you cannot believe. So it is a game over on this place where we are right now. It is what? A game over for Imam Maduabu, for fallback bridge, Ogenkere, for all these faceless unites, for Okute who does not have a face, for any IPOB member. The world sees them after, because where it will shock all of you is that any movement of this government is legalized in FERA of America, which is FARA, where you have right to register under a country where you are. Every movement of a new government that is in exile. Who did that? Dr. Ongozora Ebeze, not Ogenkere, not Imam Maduabu. I want to tell you that Imam Maduabu is working till today with Ushemefo. His name is really Isioke Ngbere. Yes. So, I want us to know that the international community knows that when a new country is being declared, that anybody who step aside, who is not standing on the mandate of the new country name, on the mandate of the new country name that being declared, that the world will see that particular group as rebel group. We are not the one giving them the name, but the attitude of what they are doing is what is giving them the name. Listen, let me repeat it again. Competing claiming, if a rebel group controls 90% of a new country, but the original government that made the declaration still holding the documents and the proven effective control and support, international support, the rebel are often still not considered sovereign because the control is seen as temporary or illegal. CRC Bridge, Faces Unite, IPOB Agitation Endless Group. The world has started seeing all of you after this our declaration that all of you are what? Rebel in the movement of United States of Biafra. Like what happened in America also. What happened in Namibia. What happened in Congo. What happened in Israel or even in India or even Palestine. All of you are rebel. That's how the world, international global community sees all of you. They said you are competing with the real authority. The real authority is only one government by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze under United States of Biafra is the legal and the legitimate government for the Biafran people. Take it or you leave it. This is what international law is letting you to know. They said you are rebel, and you are competing. You and the man Maduabo, you are competing with the real legal government. And I'm happy that one of my research, all the movement of the USB is legal. They have legalized this country. Chai. They have legalized this country. That is why recognition we go to the one that is legal, not illegal, not the one that is competing, claiming that Biafra was declared December 2nd, claiming that he is from Bridge, not from the United States of Biafra. People of Namibia, 1990, used a name, Southwest African People Organization, to achieve their declaration of the independence of Republic of Namibia. After their declaration, immediately the declaration that day, they turned that name, SWAPO, Southwest African Organization, they turned it into a party name. And they start using Republic of Namibia to seek for international recognition immediately. 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 Why our own is going to be different? The same thing with America. America used 13 colonies, United 13 colonies, to push under Great Britain through civil war to achieve America to become a country. Their own people also become sabotage. Even up to imagine when, look at where this particular law works in America. 56 men against 547 men. 56 congressmen signed declaration documents of America. Why that the rebel 547 signed that they do not want America to become a country. They signed what? That they do not want America to become a country. But what happened? Today, America is a country. Simply mean that 56 men defeat 547 for America to become a country. You know what it is. I want here to be into your mind. Listen again. Competing claiming, if a rebel group controls 90% of a new country, but the original government still holding the documents and the legal movement of the new country, international global community support them, not the rebel group. Still consider the rebel group still not considered sovereign, because the group is seen as temporary or illegal movement. Are you hearing it? So use here to judge yourself as you are listening to me right now and you are still in the fallback, in the CRC. You believe in Adam Dosh and all these things. You have called yourself rebel, that the international global community is calling on you. But as we are moving, our line is open in case if anyone have chance to call on number +973360513337. I repeat, today is Sunday. In case you have chance to call on number plus, only on WhatsApp, plus 973360513337. That is the number you can call through WhatsApp, and I will pick it so your voice will heard into what we are doing or your own contribution. We must continue. There's no going back. The modern, look at it too, the modern of war stage of having a new country. Distinguish between these two type of control in this modern new country, between those that got it through war and now we are fighting to live from Nigeria in this 21st modern century. There is how it goes. The federal government is involved. We have the federal government on Simon Ekpa until today. Nobody will deny it. And that is where we are pushing for international recognition to become the Tyrio stakeholder under the eyes of the international global community. Yes, both on the ground and run the post office, schools, and the police, you might control 100% of the land, but no other country recognition like Somaliland. They still give an example of Somaliland because they just got another recognition 2 days ago, right? 2 days ago, right? Look at it, they said, oh, you might be controlled, oh, you have post office, oh, you have school, oh, you have police, oh, you might control 100% of the land. But if not other country recognition, there is no other country worth recognition. Like Somaliland, you lack international sovereignty. You might claim, like most people say, hey, you not control your land and 100%, 20%. Police is in Imo State, all the old Imo State. Police is in old Anambra. Police is everywhere. Police is all nonsense are rubbishes. Because the law of you having a new country is not looking for that. I have already read what they are looking for you. That is the one you have to follow in this movement of having a new country. Yes, Chinedu said, Biafrans both in the motherland and abroad, I wish you all happy Xmas and the prosperous new year in advance. All must hail United States of Biafra. Write it very well. Yes, so Flora Kubilo, good morning, or yes, it's morning from my location. Good morning from here. Good morning from here. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. You lack international sovereignty. What is the most important thing is this? You see this international sovereignty. That is why Biafra fell in 1967 to 1970. This international sovereignty, international recognition. That is what it means to. That is why we're not a country today. And the US government has reactivated all this into the movement of what we are doing right now. Yeah, I see armed struggle today. Armed struggle, what happened for a very long time? Good morning from here. Wow. It's been very, very long time on this page because we know those always been here. Well, it's okay. Happy Christmas. Happy New Year in advance. I wish you one of the most beautiful as we are going in. The number is plus 9 7 3 6 0 5 1 3 7. Only on WhatsApp. I repeat, plus 9 7 3 6 0 5 1 3 7. Only on WhatsApp you can get the number from. That is the number to call. Thank you for that. If you got it right, you let me know. If you didn't get it right, I will still call it back again so until you get the number right. That is the number we use to run our program anytime we are live. Until our gadget is ready, then we will start putting link in future, not now. Thank you. So, let's continue. You are recognized by the UN and the other nations as a rightful owner. A government in exile might not control 1% of its territory, but still be considered the sovereignty representative of the nation in the eyes of the law. The movement of this government is in the eyes of the law. What law is asking for is what United States of Biafra is doing. What law is asking for is what? Look at this here. Remember the up. They said this rebel group might claim in controlling 100%, but because of they are illegal, nobody recognizes them under international law. Now, they said the Jew by law. You are recognized by the UN and the other nations as the rightful owner. A government in exile might control 0% of its territory, but still be considered the sovereign representative of the nation in the eyes of the law. Are you following? When their government, right now, the USB are declared, is trying to work hard to legalize everything in the eyes of international law. Whenever you hear about UN, the UN is where? In America. And if you're in America, your movement is not in Washington, D.C., you are lost. Emmanuel Greg, good morning from here. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Like I said, if you listen to us, our line is open for phone call. If you want to call us, the number plus 97 3 60 51 337. That is the number to call. Yes, Bishop. If you never like the program, I don't know what is holding you to like. Please, there is a 3 dots in front of your right hand side. Click on it once, it will open. You will see like and share. And when you share, subscribe, please. It is very important if you do so on this particular platform. So for you to know when we are live. We are only here to discuss on all these bordering questions that people are throwing to our people. We depend on research and come out to narrate it to every layman understanding, and bring some histories of the countries to make it to happen. You had a name here. India was declared in Germany 1907 with government in exile. Palestine was declared 1988 in Algeria, government in exile. They did not control 1% of their land before they become a sovereign state. In order to declare it, work towards legal, they become sovereignty. Declaration of a new country gives you what? A sovereignty that are seeking for official international recognition. Christy Biafra, good morning from here. I can see you are welcome. You are highly welcome. Listen.
Claims. Stability over scale. You don't need to control every inch of your claimed borders, but you must have a stable enough grip that you can enforce laws and protect the population. Competing claims. If a rebel group controls 90% of a country, but the original government still holds the capital and has international support, the rebels are often still not considered sovereign, because their control is seen as temporary or illegal.
Are you hearing it? The so-called CRC, the so-called British government in exile, and all these groups you are seeing is against this movement. The world, the international law and international community, countries in the world sees you as a rebel because they have passed this way we are on it right now. They have gone beyond this what we are passing through today. That is why they look at you using their own case to now judge you in what you are doing after our declaration. They now tag you what? Rebel. Not Ngozi Orebeze, not USB, not I. Let me tell you what you can type to get what I'm reading, so you can also find it on our own. After the declaration of independence for a new country in this new modern world, did you need to control 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000 before you claim sovereignty? That is what we are handling throughout today. It is in 3 stages. We are going to dive into that 3 stage today to lay down this particular issue of sovereignty. And when you follow us, you can be able to debunk and do a position on that. It's anywhere you charm those claiming stupidity of controlling territory before you become a sovereignty. Are you following? It is very imperative. Yes, Francis, the United States of Biafra is made up of 40 states. It's made up of 40 states in old eastern region and extends for some areas of lower Benue that fought Biafra War 1967 to 1970. That is this. So, for this new country being declared, and they told us here that this new country, you don't need to control even 1% before you become a sovereign state. That you only need to do what? Prove effective government, command the population of your people, enact law, and proving effective government. Automatically with the declaration, you become a sovereign state. You become what? A sovereign state. And they give you an example. India, Pakistan, Kuwait, and many more of them in the line for you to understand that the history is what everybody follows to achieve their international recognition in the eyes of the present law of the new model of having a new country without war is what we are reading out to you. We'll continue. Competing claim. If a rebel group controls 90% of country, but the original government still hold the capital, and they are the one that will have support of the international community. The rebel are often still not considered sovereign because the control is seen as temporary or illegal of the movement of a new country.
2. De jure versus de facto sovereignty. The monde, or world stage, distinguishes between these two types of control. De facto, in practice, you have boots on the ground and run the post office, schools, and police. You might control 100% of the land, but if no other country recognizes you, like Somaliland, you lack international sovereignty. De jure, by law, you are recognized by the UN and other nations as the rightful owner. A government in exile might control 0% of its territory, but still be considered the sovereign representative of that nation in the eyes of the law. 3. Why percentages aren't used? Using a fixed percentage would create legal chaos.
Why percentage are not used? Are you listening to it? For you, you need to claim this and fool and not let me to abuse anybody. Let me claim that you don't know. Listen to this here. For you to claim a sovereignty, listen to it here. As saying that in the eyes of the international global community, why percentage are not yet used? Using a fixed percentage would create legal chaos. Using a percentage for a new country to become a sovereignty, we create what? Legal chaos. How? Listen.
For example, if a country lost 51% of its land in a sudden invasion, it would technically cease to exist overnight if a 50% rule existed.
You see, if this was possible, by now, America will not become a country because America did not control 51% or 50% before they become a sovereignty. Because before they become a sovereign state. That is why the world is telling you that they are not using what? Percentage of control of border or territory before they can assume or see you as a sovereign state. They said no. It's going to cause a very big chaos in future. And today, look at where we are.
Many countries have disputed borders, like India, Pakistan, or Israel/Palestine, where neither side controls 100% of the territory they claim, yet both are fully recognized sovereign states.
Are you hearing it? How many countries here, like India, Pakistan, Israel, and Palestine, they have land border disputes? They did not either side any of this side they control even 1% or 20% or tens of 100 before they claim sovereignty. The territory they claim, yet both are fully organized sovereign states. Both what? Those people are fully organized as what? As what? As a sovereign state. As what? Sovereign state. That is what the world is letting you to know. For you who is asking how many percent that the US has control before claiming sovereign state, are you hearing it here? Hear about India, Palestine, or Israel, and Pakistan. They give this example on this one. The other side, they give us Kuwait and other countries in the world. That's what we're passing through today. They have gone through that process. But today, they are a country living in this world. You know about India. You know about Israel. They all make the declaration with government in exile, with their controlling 1% of their territory. But you know they declare it, they become a sovereign state. Why do you think after your own declaration, you are not going to become a sovereign state?
Summary table. Criterion. Requirement. Land control must be effective and stable, not a specific percentage. Borders must be defined, though they can be under dispute. Recognition. Highly important. Usually requires a vote by the UN Security Council. In short,
Listen to this. Land control must be effective and stable. The government must be effective and stable. Not a specific percentage. Not what? Specific percentage. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains the president of United States of Biafra. And right now, the United States of Biafra under Dr. Ngozi Arabeze is working very hard to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with our facial recognition, with our declaration. He has become the president of a new country under the eyes of international law. Declaration changes his status from a common criminal, terrorist charge, to become a head of a state, and also to have power to look his case as what? As a prisoner of conscience. Now, border must be identified through they can be under dispute. Through what? Through what? Border. That the border might be under dispute must be defined. That is why we have defined 40 states that make up of United States of Biafra as the states we have on it. And they said, though they can be under dispute, that they can be under what? Dispute. Recognition. High importance. Using requirements as voted by the UN Security Council, whether you control 20%, 1%, or 1%. When they decide to recognize you, look at the history of people of Somaliland today that got their first ever international recognition from Israel after waiting for 34 good years. In short, you could not control 100% of a territory and still not be a sovereignty. You could control that, not a sovereignty. If the international community view you as occupation as legal, or you could control 10% and remain sovereign if you are the international recognition government fighting a civil war. You see it here, no matter how much percent you control, it does not matter. What matters is what? That you are effective on the action of proving that you are a sovereign state. I hope you listen carefully to this wonderful message for the world to know that we already know what we have to do for us to get our recognition. That is why we are here to present the truth to you. There is many countries in the past that have government in exile. Many of them. Listen to this.
In international law, there is no minimum percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You do not need 50%, 80%, or even 10%. Instead, sovereignty is based on the effectiveness principle. If a new country declares independence, it can claim sovereignty as long as it has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if that area is just one city. 1. Why percentages don't matter. International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focuses on the quality of control, not the quantity of land. The defined territory rule, you only need to control enough land to prove you have a territorial base. There is no rule saying you must control a majority of the land you claim. Case in point, in many civil wars or independence movements, a new country might only control 20% of its claimed land, like the capital or a coastal region. But if it collects taxes, runs courts and provides security there, it is considered to have de facto sovereignty over that specific portion. 2. Can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition? Yes. Under the declarative theory of statehood, a country exists the moment it meets the physical criteria: population, territory, government, regardless of whether other countries recognize it yet. State of control. Legal status. Can you claim sovereignty? Control 100%, no recognition. De facto state. Yes, but you will struggle with international trade and travel. Control 10%, has recognition. Sovereign state. The international community views you as the legitimate owner of the whole 100%. Control 0%, government in exile. Recognized sovereign. Yes, some countries, like Kuwait during the 1990 invasion, remain sovereign even with zero control of their land. 3. The waiting room problem. While you can claim sovereignty without 50% control, your wait for international recognition becomes much harder if 1. The parent state is still fighting. The UN rarely recognizes a new country if the parent country is still actively trying to win the land back. This is seen as an ongoing internal conflict rather than a finished independence. 2. Lack of effective control. If your government cannot protect its borders or its people, other nations will argue you are a failed state or a rebel group rather than a sovereign country. Summary for your Monde world. If your new country only controls 5% of the land but has a functioning government and a clear border, they are legally allowed to claim they are sovereign. However, the rest of the world will likely wait to see if they can defend that 5% before offering formal recognition. Would you like me to help you describe the border or the effective government your new country has set up to prove its sovereignty?
I hope you're listening. I will play it again. Official AJ, good morning from here. Listen to, there is area I want us to pick something out from it. Listen to this.
In international law, there is no minimum percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You do not need 50%, 80%, or even 10%. Instead, sovereignty is based on the effectiveness principle. If a new country declares independence, it can claim sovereignty as long as it has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if that area is just one city.
Are you listening to this? In international law, there is no minimum of percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You do not need 50, 80, 10, or 100 before you become a sovereign state. Now, instead, sovereignty is based on the effective principle. If a new country declares its independence, it can claim sovereignty as long as it has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if it's just one city, not one city. Even if you have only one city to claim that is what gives you a sub-declaration. Out of declaration of independence for a new country with only mouth gives you a sovereignty. Why percentage do not matter? Why percentage control do not matter? International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focused on the quality of control of population of human being, not land. Focus on the quality of control of a human being, not the quality of land you control. Are you hearing it? Control of a population of a human being, not the quality of land you control, is what gives you a sovereign state. Umo Koko, where are you? Come and listen. Population is what gives you a sovereignty, not the level of protection you have, how you have protected your land and control your territory. It's not. It is you and I, our population, is what makes us a sovereignty that the world are looking for. The world are not looking for territory and border. for a new country, because they said that after the declaration that a new country will be into territory dispute with the present country they are fighting to leave. Are you listening? This is what the international law, this is how they see the movement of a new country. That's why I told you why percentage does not matter. Percentage does not matter for be a sovereign state.
1. Why percentages don't matter. International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focuses on the quality of control, not the quantity of land. The defined territory rule: you only need to control enough land to prove you have a territorial base. There is no rule saying you must control a majority of the land you claim.
Are you hearing it? There is no rule that says that we must protect these 40 states that we claim we have. That it does not stop us from claiming sovereignty. Because after declaration, upon waiting for international recognition, you become a sovereign state that lacks international recognition. Immediately you get recognition from the international community, like after 34 good years, Somaliland got their first ever a body of the UN member given recognition. That is what they call what? International recognition by Israel. December 26, 2025. Somaliland has waited for 34 good years for this to happen. Our people will just only on 1 month too, and look at questions and look at attitude they are seeing. We are only on 1 year. See the attitude. See what you are seeing happen in social media. That is how we know how selfish and how myopic our people is, and thinking that we will get this Biafra with what we think without comparison. You were a big fool by thinking that way. We are looking at people's history, and we mean the history is repeating in our own case, and that will help us very fast to adopt into necessary things to do, not like starting from the scratch anymore. We must continue.
Case in point, in many civil wars or independence movements, a new country might only control 20% of its claimed land, like the capital or a coastal region. But if it collects taxes, runs courts, and provides security there, it is considered to have de facto sovereignty over that specific portion. 2. Can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition?
Yes to know. Can you claim sovereignty while you are waiting for what? Recognition. Let me say again. Yes.
Under the declarative theory of statehood, a country exists the moment it meets the physical criteria: population, territory, government, regardless of whether other countries recognize it yet.
I hope this place brings something into you. Yes, under the declaration of the theory, that is what we do of the state code. What's our own case? A country exists from the moment it meets the physical criteria of population. Physical criteria of population of human being, not land. Population, territory, government, regardless of whether other countries organize it yet, whether they organize or they don't recognize us, we on our own becomes what? A sovereign state, without looking for any other thing in this world. Yes. Yes, Somaliland, they got under 34 years. Their own is from that, because it's from 1960 to 2025. 34 good years. Look at, they waited, become a country, become a sovereignty, doing this in there. Instead of you to join hand for us to do things together. Instead of you to join hand for us to do things together, you are dividing. You are asking questions. You will never control 10%, and you are claiming sovereignty. Are you not? You are what? A fool. That is who you are by asking. Look at Somaliland. waited for 34 good years. Despite the saboteurs, today, the saboteurs will flee. They will run because that is the movement of saboteurs. Those who was fighting against Ireland to become a country, they have them. The world will call all of you rebel. The world will see you as what? Rebel. Once you are not supporting the creation of a new country, the world will see you as what? Rebel. Not me, not Ngozi Arabeze, not the USB government, but what? The international global community with their experiment to compare what we are passing through today and what they have passed in their own time. And they give you a guideline that if you are acting this way, after you have declared a new country, you turn against it and run away. The world knows that you become a rebel. That's why they said, even though you claim that you control the land 90%, they will not grant you the recognition of a sovereignty. And the way we thought, yes, it's not. Look at what I'm reading. It's not about woto anymore. If you want to achieve a new country, nobody need woto anymore. And today, you can hear it here. Kuwait, 1990, did not control 1% of their border before they become a sovereign state. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but we must control you and tell you the truth. As we are waiting for after declaration, a new country is waiting for what? For recognition to fully becomes international sovereignty. There is local sovereignty and international sovereignty. Local sovereignty is where we are right now, where Somaliland was, and 2026, 2025, December 26, they are no longer there. Our own right now remains what? Local sovereignty that lacks official international recognition sovereignty. Do you understand it? I hope we are making common sense, my people. Do we continue or do we stop? What is in your mind? Have I taken your time too much? Have I taken your time too much? Do you want me to still continue, or do you want us to end it here for today? Ask in the comment section. Are you tired? If you are, then talk so we can be able to close the program. I'm waiting for your answer on the comment section. We have everything. We have everything. We have everything to become a new country. We have it. The South Sudan will be next to recognize. Yes, so that is a country. No, the next is my United States of Biafra is the next in the line, because we have fought war many years ago. So nobody would deny us that they never know our history. That is why I said the next one should be United States of Biafra by any of these countries that likes us. So, thank you so much. Thank you. You had it here clearly that when a new country is being declared, if anybody step aside and form another group, that person becomes a rebel. You have a phone call. See if they call for our program. Yes, sir. Wanda, good morning from here.
Good morning. Now hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Come lower this one, Yes. Ụtụtụ ọma, ezi nwanne m. Ụtụtụ ọma. Ụtụtụ ọma. Ụmụ Biafra. Ndị na-aga chọọchị. Asị m na happy Sunday nọ. Happy New Year in advance. Ụtụtụ ọma. Ụtụtụ ọma nọ. Nna m ụtụtụ ọma. In short, ihe anyị na-akụzi this morning. To be honest, Chino, I don't know. You're my marrying them. Because na in a cozy, the Korean cousin could not takara. Na tapi the thing, na balia. Ezeoku, one name. I'm so happy. Obi the motor in nyawa well. Because I even take trouble ijuge as a question. If as the way onye say na no South Sudan, but the next we say nyawa no your own. But the next because na he no go. I wanted to ask you that question because our own, because this Somalia land, they have waited for 34 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
And our own, because I want to ask this question. I know we fought a war. I know we are fighting with Nigeria. You understand? Are we? It's a question, though. Please, nobody should say this woman don't know anything. I know something, but I just want to ask because sometimes they ask a question, you may know, but another people may not know. Another people may still know from the question that you ask.
Exactly.
For example, now, but because I know that by next year, by Chukwuka our own will be next. Because I'm feeling it. So this our own, because we fought the war and everything, if you calculate it, is it not more than Somaliland?
Honestly, it is.
Our free. Come again.
I say it is. We have struggled more than them.
Okay. I thank you so much for this answer. And Biafrans, yesterday, I think, Uchenwa about everything. I think, I started feeling somehow in my body. And I started, I went somewhere. And I asked a question. I said, uncle, one of the uncle, because the uncle fought a war. You understand? They are the people that fought a war. I think according to him, I think it's how many, not up to, I think 10 years or, so but he survived. So I asked a question. I said, uncle, I want to ask you, is it the Somalia land? Where it is? Is it in Africa country or diaspora? I know where it is there.
Yeah.
He said yes. I said, is it in between Ethiopia and Eritrea and Somalia? He said yes. He said in between. Please, where can we locate this Somalia land? In between where?
Somalia is in a country precisely in Africa. They are from, you'll be hearing about Somalia. That's one that Mazen Kano said, that if you never got their visa, that you should find and get their visa and run into, that is going to be better than Nigeria in future. Then from that Somalia, they break away from, Somalia got their independence from Italy. That is where they got their independence from. Then this Somalia, they now break away. They have Somaliland. They have Somaliland, which is the one that got this recognition right now. So there are two. You have Somalia. You have Somaliland. They are in Africa country. The truth is that I never researched exactly country that they haven't come up boundary with it. But I just know them, that this is how their history is. I never check from which area to this area are they living into. But they are a country that's in Africa here. I'm looking at them between something. Let me not even say, but all I know is that by tomorrow, after this program, I will know where those that surrenders them around them. That is one thing. For now, they are from Africa. Somalia got independent from fight from Great Italy and got their way out. From there, they break away, have Somaliland today.
Thank you, Nam. This is a Otakala question, or Kanajuge, Nam Darine. And Isla Kwamia, you answered me. Because, to be honest, many people don't know that there's a land called Somaliland.
Yeah.
Because when Israel now recognize that, people are now coming up and say, where? So there's a Somalia and a Somaliland. Because I know that Italy colonized, give these people Somalia. Yes. So, but this Somaliland, you see how they waited patiently. Not that they don't have saboteur, they have saboteur. You see? And you see that everywhere now, even Somalia people, they are very annoyed. But we don't care. You understand? What we know that these people have recognized them. So, I really thank to Kokika Biama. My brothers and sisters, this thing that Chino is teaching as a takara. You understand it? And look at the joy of the land. Look at the joy all over the world, because this Somalian land also, they are still fleeing, they're all over the world.
Yes.
As Biafran is. You understand? Because sometimes when they are called people Somalia, and some people don't put Somaliland, sometimes they are called, we thought that it's the same thing. You understand? We thought that it's the same. It's now many people know that Somalia and Somaliland is not, their brothers and sisters, but they are break away because of one thing and another. I really thank God for their country. Another one is for us. And by Chukwu Kabiama, it will be next year.
Yes.
We are going to have our own. And my brothers and sisters, you see, people that they living, they are denying themselves. Because ignorance is different. Ignorance is something that you don't know at all. And you are ignoring under that thing. I don't know. That what you know already that we are not seeking with the name of IPOP organization. You understand?
Yes.
And we are now put our name United of what?
Biafra.
You see? No, and people are now still coming to be saying that IPOP. I'm not telling them, are you mad? Are you mad? If it's argument yesterday, the place I went, you know? Day before yesterday. I said, listen, why are you people trying? But anyway, because people knows, due to the person that piloting it, the hatred in now, you're saying that what is coming to do with IP? Okay, for example, as we're here gathering here now, you know, okay, you're IPOB, you are the USB, and it's me that declares me that they know everything's in my hands. For example, if they are called tomorrow, like Trump called tomorrow, that I want to recognize Biafra, which name is he going to recognize it for? The name of, is it the name of IPOP or the name of USB? The person say yes, it's the name of IPOP. Say why? Listen, Biafra, say why? He said because our president is the one that piloting it, and you know, is the one that make all over the world knows that yes, is the one that he's the one that logged in with the secretary of you know this Donald Trump secretary.
Yes.
Yes, I think somebody sue or what? Yes, is the what? Yeah, is the IPOP law waiting? This lobby
Yeah.
is the one that, yes, is the woman that is the woman that's pushing everything to in the name of IPOP to Trump. That's why Trump now can say is what the woman the no the man is telling me is what Trump now that Trump have decided to recognize us. So after if I asked him a question, I said I want to ask a question. We are not calling. You can see we are now chatting like a brother and sister. I want to ask a question. He said, ask me. He said, okay. I appreciate Nnamdi Kanu. I appreciate him and for him. You understand? But let me ask you, is it Nnamdi Kanu declare a Biafran? He declare. He said he's about to do it before he has a problem. I said, okay. He said it's about. That about, tell me the meaning of about. Because about me, maybe it means in my own dictionary, different, your own is different. Can you interpret that about? He said, but Ngozi, I said, but you understand now about. I said, okay, if the one that I understand, the one that is in dictionary, English that we're speaking, okay, accept. Okay, it's about. He said, yes. So I said, okay, it's about. He said, yes, okay. Let me ask you, before they kidnap him, he said, yes, that's okay. I said, where is Chinasa Nworu with Chike Dozie? I dare support him to declare. I dare because I didn't see anything that Awonyendu show that it's about to declare. He said, what did I mean? I said, listen, I said, okay, let us forget that side. Okay, as the kidnap Onyendu, why Chikedozem did not carry it on? Tell me the reason why. Because I don't know. Majority of Biafrans don't know that Onyendu is about to declare. I said, okay, do you people voted? He said, yes, I'm asking him. So I will not tell him that it's autopilot. I said, listen, auto correction. We are not in autopilot anymore. Autopilot is what we use to enter. So just like IPOP organization. He said, okay, let me ask you now. Okay, let me ask you. You can hear testimonies that people that seek asylum, they are giving them asylum paper now because of IPOP. I say you're crazy, man. It's okay. I say you're very crazy. I say why you people always taking glory? Yes, who bring the after Wazirike is our Onyendu take over. And Onyendu make me to know who I am today. Onyendu open my eyes and I now know that I am a Biafran. And Onyendu create many things all over. It started all over. And that's why it takes that time. Because what is preaching to us, because many people don't know who are there. And because of divide and rule, there's a lot of confusion. Which Ohana Zendigbo did not do because they're very stupid and selfish. I said it, they first said to the man. I saw Ohana Zendigbo because they leave everything RSND did not even go to evangelize to their brothers and sisters. They are speaking the same language. And who made it to happen? If people coming now to say Igbo unification, it's in Andikano. It's in Andikano. But let me tell you something. Because of the day I was listening to the interview, I'm there live, when our Prime Minister interviewed Onyendu. You hear what Samune told Onyendu? I said, listen to me. I said, let us not go far. I said, but I thank God you are in the diaspora. You remain here. I pity your children because you remain here forever and you will die in diaspora. I said, listen, because of this jealousness and you people are bringing confusion. Okay, let me ask you. I said, okay, which paper? I said, which document? That person that seek asylum, those people that seek asylum, what name they are used to seek asylum, and what name they are claiming they are from? Is it IPOP? I said, who knows IPOP? IPOP, Nnamdi Kanu stated, has died. You people rubbish it. And now, we use IPOP to climb so that the world will hear us. And now, we have chosen a name that we are going to bear. And that name is international news now. And that name, since Dr. Abeze declared it, they went to Finland. And we voted. Do you vote? He said, first time we voted. We didn't vote. I said, okay, I cannot tell you because you are a stupid man. Go to internet and see. You people here, many things we say, many things. Election I said, okay, which name I use? I said, okay, if anybody, the current one now, I don't know about that time that our Onyendu, is around, is a piloting with IPOP. He tried very well because many people, like Uchemofo, and many people use it, to seek asylum and give them a paper. But at last, what happened? Because of the betrayal, you people sold Onyendu and betrayed Onyendu, everything, rubbish, everything. So they are no more recognizing our people now with IPOB. Is what? I call him and say, who give that name? I said, what do you mean who give that name? Is that name international people knows? Let me tell you something. And we're waiting for recognition. He said, okay, for example now, if America call us, who is going for us? I said, what do you mean who is going for us? Onyendu, that kidnap Onyendu. Onyendu is in. Yes or no? Abi, if Onyendu is coming to, to sign it, he say, I said, what is inside? I said, okay, you agree that we have declared, Abi, we are waiting for Onyendu to come and start again. As us, that you people call us autopilot. Are we, okay, me as autopilot, for example, now, it's coming autopilot, am I going to wait for my own autopilot leader, Samune Ekpa, to come out and declare? I said no, because Samune Ekpa has put everything in place. So, you, as IPOP, I don't know where you people is, mentality of you guys. Because of what? Hatred or what? I said, but let me tell you something. This thing you're saying, by next year, you people going to see. We talk many things. Because my sisters and brothers, you see one thing. I don't even put, I stop putting ignorant because they're not ignorant. Because I know. Yesterday, when I was watching one of the video, declaration. When I saw all of them inside there, and Chomo Okoma, when that Finnish people, they're playing that their guitar, singing our national anthem. She was looking at them. She was watching them. So can we call it? She's ignorant. She's not ignorant. She knows. She's there. She's among those that organize it, and when that will be declared it. No, yes. My brothers and sisters, you people should let us focus and let our mind, our soul, our money, and we need many mediums. It's still this Oyibo in our soul. If you don't know how to speak Oyibo, use broken speaker. Use your own language, they will translate it. As they are saying it, their machine translator are there, translating everything you're saying. Because we need to push this thing. We need to make noise. According to my rape, Honorable Benjus, instead, let us make noise. And making noise now is money. Please go and donate. Because we need to equip our soldiers. We need to equip our air forces. We need to equip them. Do you see what this Somaliland, do you see their soldiers yesterday? Do you see their forces yesterday? Do you see how their uniform it is? Let me ask you people, Biafrans, if they recognize us tomorrow it may happen. Which uniform you have brought our soldiers is going to match with? Is it not money? Which boots? Because they use it now to mock themselves. I said that time, no boots, no this and no this. Which boots are they going to wear to come and match? Is it not money? Dear friends, we are waiting for the organization. We are waiting for this. Is it not money? Let us make noise. Biafras, make noise. Egogina the Germana that putu na the website. On the website, you never been so you know your rep. Go there, the account. We have home account. Put it there and bring out your receipt. Please. And we need media. We need pushing good narrative of Biafrans. Biafrans, you see that now, Nigerian journalists now, they're going down day by day. This is how that happened to Sokoto. If it's Biafra land, this kind of a thing happen, you will see how the era of journalists, red envelope journalists, corrupt journalists in Nigeria that will come and fool the social media talking. Do you see them talking? Do you see them talking about what America did? Now they're changing the narrative now that has is collapsed. What are they expecting before? Where a helicopter drop. I'm not going to be shaking this thing. You understand? So you see that they are dying now. Let us wake up. This is opportunity. Anyhow, you want to speak that in your language, so let international people know. He said in December that anything happen in our land, is anything happen or any killing happen in our land, in Biafra land, Because I can see our people rejoicing. And many people from America, from Europe, many people travel home. It's how we want our land to be. More than that, please, let us support this, our government, to go home. Everybody now writing there, congratulations, Somaliland, congratulations. I was hearing tears. I said, oh, my next congratulation will be in Biafra land. So shall it be. Because we have suffered, and we have suffered enough. Because we have suffered. We have suffered and we are still suffering. Biafrans, wake up. Let us go home. Let us go home. Biafra dimma or the monono. Chino, I don't know what to tell you. But you walk a car biama. Keputara ginye gorwa. Nye more strength.
Amen.
It's all but I went not do there. Forget you hear it. May your effort never go in vain when they're working. The effort you're putting into this, our nation, our new nation, our new baby, may you bring a good fruit in your eternal home, internal of your home, forever and ever. You shall be well with all the medias, all our brothers and sisters, all the medias. We are going to eat the fruit of our labor. Asiatina, anybody, Greg, this boy, take to in honor na obodo manu, the Greg, ex-handle. This boy, oh, Bechukwu Kika Biama, to remember you, my brother, Greg. Greg in Abane, no. All the medians. I tell me Papa because I ain't people. Oh, when they got one, Nin Map will be with Bechukwu Kika Biama. Yesterday, Kai report to Noketo Yana Benchusu and ha buribu nnam egeketamure burum. In short, anybody in support to her, this our nation. I'm sorry will be your name and your generation. Let me come nkudebe ota no ekene munu mo Biafra isi nike. President, our honorable president, Nnamdi Kanu, Mechukwu Kika Biama, may ancestors, Nnage, Iye Nage di wehiri si, afari beku, anafari beku, mwodi na afari beku, mwodi ni bolandi nine, mwodi na Biafra na nine. You
see?
He will not die. He will live. He will come out with his victory.
You see?
You are not a terrorist. You are a freedom fighter. Anamasege Nnam Jisike Ikawunagi. Ndina mwage pusa monepam. Anamase na mwo nna ya jiwe hirisi. Mwo jiwe potowa. Nebo si potowa. Gechekwa ge. Someone nepano njoko. Njoko. Binye. Njoko. Nnamo. By next year. Nname ya pota. Dalu hinne. Dalu hinne. Wada ka ada jejemba. Ala na-azụ nwa Dr. Mozara Beze na cabinet ya. I know you people are working day and night. Tiredness, day and night. Muwa Bungozi, I appreciate you people. I appreciate your generation. I appreciate Afro Mono. And I say, ka udo dịrị unu jisi n'ike. Ọ dịghị izi. Ọ dịghị izi. And unu nwere idea na ọ dịghị izi. Jisi n'ike. Anyị analụa n'ụlọ. Dr. Ngozi Arabezie Kenne, jisi kenne m. Jisi ka Adaọma, jisi ka Ada ji eje mba. Ike agwụna gị. Anyị kwụ gị n'azụ. Nne m, kabinet niile, ekene m unu. Asị m unu, Ebon, ndị amị anyị, ndị anyị ji kwụrụ, ndị na-aga ezi the land of their father, jisi n'ike. Unu adakwa na mba. Unu adakwa na mba. Biko unu, ọ fọrọ nwa obere. Anyị analụa n'ụlọ. Ana m ekele unu niile. Jisi n'ike, ndị nne anyị, ndị nna anyị, ndị nọ n'ihu ahịa. Ka anyị anaghịzi anụ ahịa bete, anyị ga-akpọ ya ahịa. Bụkwa na anyị ka nọrị na that place bụ zoo bụ na a na-abịa ewere amị ha wee na-egbusisi anyị. Jisi n'ike n'ọfọdụ nwa obere. Anyị enwetago ife anwa. Unu chọbasi nsi. Ma ndị nụ ahịa, daalụ unu hinne. I respect. I salute. Because nna m bụ onye amị. No matter na amaghọ m ya. Nwanne m bụ ndị amị. That's why you see me. If I'm talking, I talk with force. I talk with force. Biafrans. Because of that blood in me. That blood in me. Asị na oke anaghị amụ agwọ. Oke ya amụala oke. Ana m enye unu, ana m asị unu, na-ekene unu. Ana m asị na ọ bụ na ọ ya dịrị m nwa bụ ngozi ka izi again na ngaba amị. Ma abụọ m egbe m ga-esiri unu nri. Ma esiolu m unu nri, m ga-efichala unu ụlọ. Ete m ga-eyi akwa amị awa. Ana m ekene unu, ana m asị unu, Ebon. Ụmụ Biafra, we move. No more crying. No more surrender. Jisi n'ike. Nna m, I salute you, sir.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much, Wanda. Thank you. I appreciate all your nice contribution. That is what we know. That is who we are. We are looking up for only one thing: recognition. We have met every criteria. That is why on my previous video, when I was tagging the UN and all these United States of America, Israel, and all of them, let them know that Biafra has been declared. And we have met all these criteria. And today, look at what we are doing. We are letting them to know that they should not keep quiet, because we have suffered so much to come to where we are right now. We have passed through thick and things in our life. Is it the killing? Is it the marginalization? Is it the inhuman treatment? Is it the abuse of rights? Is it anything that is bad in this world? We have passed through that. That is why we are calling them, that we want to build common thing, our own country. That is all we are seeking for. Nothing more than that. That is why we are calling on the international global community to just grant us this one thing. This our official recognition, that is everlasting solution to all the problems that are happening, moreover, in Africa and today in Nigeria, that means death sentence to every indigenous person. We are calling on all of you to do not shy away, to do not waste time. Remember what we passed through, 1967, 1970. We are passing through that still today. The war has never ended. Look at today, on the help that Nigeria colluded, according to them, with America to fight those, the ICC. The head of the Boko Haram, called Chegumi, has said that America is fighting Biafran war. America, please, give us this recognition. And the rest, equip us. Allow us to do the needful, because we know how to end it all. We are that special people in any country where we are. We contributed a lot in America. We contribute a lot in the UK. We want to go home to contribute all this in our own country, to build another country that will help America to fight this oncoming third world war that is looming everywhere. We are going to help to quench it because we are peace-loving people. We abide by the love. We abide by the peace. We value life. We cherish life. We respect blood. We don't do anything anyhow. We are asking the entire world to grant us recognition, like the way it happens to Somaliland. That is what we are asking for this time around. It's our right to govern ourselves. It is our right to choose our president, to choose our governors, to let those that are going to rule us, that we know them. That is why we are asking for all this, and believe that with all we have played out today, that it is well written, well understanding, that we are only lacking for one thing, which is the international recognition. That it is in the hands of countries like in Africa, Kenya, who already was being kidnapped in your country, sentenced to life imprisonment. Remember that you, giving us recognition, will bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out as a president of United States of Biafra. Kenya, your recognition to the people of United States of Biafra will now turn the life imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because we have changed that status quo by our declaration. We are calling on all of you to answer us this time around. We have a phone caller here. Yes, good morning, my brother.
Hello, Mazi.
Yes, Mazi, you're welcome.
Okay, ndewo Mazi.
There we go.
I greet you no Romi na Rusike.
Thank you.
Ọ dịghị izi no Chukwu ike abịa ma ga-akwụ ụgwọ.
Yes, sir.
Kenekwara m ezi nne nga ọ pụtara okwu.
Yes.
Mami nga, good morning from here, nne m ọma, good morning. Ekene m gị. Zam na comment section, I want you to reply me in comment section of Mami nga. I greet you. So, nwere kwa oghara kene ọhamalike ndị Igbo. Kedekwa agbata obi ya, the dragon himself. Kedekwa nne mụrụ Biafra, ka m gwara gị, Afrịka Chukwu ike aga ma ga-agbawo. So, o meburu ajụjụ ma ọ mee nke ọ jụrụ aka that new nation na recognize, Israel recognize, that Somaliland. Ọ dị na ọha nwere ndị gba ha okirikiri ebe I've forgotten their map because all from that country, that Somalia, only in those northern Nigeria.
Yes.
How she divide into three? How she divide into three? Somewhere Somaliland with another nation partially divide. Ona zoo with ona na ya soka. Ndi ana soka divide ya zoo. Biafra won't do one one. Ona like Somalia to divide. And to do the water recognition border Somaliland.
Yeah.
So ndị cannot be Somaliland is not for ndị cannot be Somaliland so they are not fighting for their own recognition too. Are the two nations na from Somalia. Are the two nations. So that Somaliland now with the band how we with the that country, everyone knows one Sudan, yes, Sudan. How with Ethiopia? Ethiopia. On that, going then go on the map. So I'm happy because I'll be here a very big celebration. And by the grace of God, by next year, I get to celebrate our own. By the grace of God.
Yes.
So, Onyendo, the war will start in their homeland. Now they build from their homeland. Upon a second go to Zamfara. A friend will be going to Sokotoba. See? Oh, yeah, Onyendo say, I'm more than gather from their diaspora. We made any mistake. More than from diaspora. See? Somaliland na recognition ha na akire go we bia from diaspora. That Somaliland na na celebrate na. See? Mudo nwa ya ga from diaspora to homeland. Enwere reason na wonye ni we put. See? Enwere. So we Biafrans, we are trying. Our government, they are doing the needful. According to this, because actually, I'm to body bond, all these fools they are getting here. We go for 19, you must come and listen to this. You are a fool. You got get this and you got get gay. Okay, and I boss go a boss go to the organ on it was diplomatically. They are the end that just in our panaco to all of them neighbor. I didn't neighbor over beauty. A neighbor. Outside now, lady Pia Biafra. No, yeah, make an expect a baby. Oh, Ratuma. No, you can expect an opera. No, boy, after first why I'm a prison deba, and carry a prison deba, and Brazil. Oh, not able to take Vietnam. How many years go take ya? Many years Vietnam had under America. How many years? Ebra? So we back. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes, my people. I want us to know that what we are doing is worth doing. And there is no other way around. I have give you the details for you to know that when a new country is being declared, that you don't need to control 1% of the territory before you claim a sovereignty. The declaration of a new country is automatically a claim that a new sovereignty has emerged that are seeking for international recognition. Before we go, I want to play it back to you to refresh your mind for all that we have did today. Love Day, very, very longest time you have not been here, but thank you so much, Mazi. You are welcome to this platform. Yes, he said, good morning, Mazi, and good evening, Biafrans. All hail United States of Biafra, USB. Thank you, brother, for you have been doing for Biafrans. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
In international law, there is no minimum percentage of territory required to claim sovereignty. You do not need 50%, 80%, or even 10%. Instead, sovereignty is based on the effectiveness principle. If a new country declares independence, it can claim sovereignty as long as it has a stable government exercising actual authority over a defined area, even if that area is just one city. 1. Why percentages don't matter? International law, specifically the Montevideo Convention, focuses on the quality of control, not the quantity of land. The defined territory rule, you only need to control enough land to prove you have a territorial base. There is no rule saying you must control a majority of the land you claim. Case in point, in many civil wars or independence movements, a new country might only control 20% of its claimed land, like the capital or a coastal region. But if it collects taxes, runs courts and provides security there, it is considered to have de facto sovereignty over that specific portion. 2. Can you claim sovereignty while waiting for recognition? Yes. Under the declarative theory of statehood, a country exists the moment it meets the physical criteria, population, territory, government, regardless of whether other countries recognize it yet. State of control. Legal status. Can you claim sovereignty? Control 100%, no recognition. De facto state. Yes, but you will struggle with international trade and travel. Control 10%, has recognition. Sovereign state. The international community views you as the legitimate owner of the whole 100%. Control 0%, government in exile. Recognized sovereign. Yes, some countries, like Kuwait during the 1990 invasion, remain sovereign even with zero control of their land. 3. The waiting room problem. While you can claim sovereignty without...
Do you hear it? that Kuwait joined sovereign without getting 10% control of their border or of their land. When they explain to you that having control of your border is not physical control, it is a population control by a human being. Through controlling operation of a human being, you will become a sovereign state out of their declaration that gives you the right to control a sovereign, a permanent people that leads to a sovereign state, not physical territory or physical border. Because they said, after your declaration that the border which you claim to be your own is in the hands of the former country or the present country that we are fighting to live from, then that the border will be under dispute. So you don't need to go and drag 1%, 20% from a sovereignty. No, rather, you legalize your sovereignty by registration of things that made up of this country. Under this, you have become a sovereign state with a population of people, defined territory, effective government, capacity to enter into the elections. These are the guidelines of the international community that gives to us for us to become what? A sovereign state. These are the pure truths that we should not shy away from. These are the pure truths that what we think can no longer give us Biafra. How we see things cannot give us Biafra. What will give us Biafra is these criteria that we must make through our effective government, proving in charge and control of the lives of the Biafran people. This is what it takes to be a country. Not control 30%, 20%, 80%. You had it here clearly. So, my people of the Biafrans, if you never subscribe on this page, I urge you to subscribe on our page. If you never like the video, please, there is a 3 dot in front of you. Click on that 3 dot, the one pointing my hand. You will see like, look at the top of your phone. You will see a 3 dots. Click on it once, it will open. You will see like and share. Please endeavor to do that. Like the program. At any time you are watching this video, the only thing you can do to let me say go viral is when you like and share the program. In your own time, after we ended the program come to your way, please endeavor to like and share the program. Do not mind us. Do not follow those that don't know the road to lead to this freedom. Don't listen to them. They are distractor. The international community called Lugo 247 rebel. That after the declaration, he walk away and start getting the government. He becomes a rebel. The same thing happened to America. The same thing happened to Namibia. The same thing happened to Congo. It happened even in Israel. It happens to India. It happened to Pakistan. It happened to have 1,001 countries happens to. We are not going to be the last, or we are going to be the first. We must stand strong, proving effective control of this United States of Biafra government. We are on the right track. We are going home. Be happy. Let any time you cry, let it becomes tears of joy that makes you to cry because of what? Achievement of United States of Biafra government, with the hope that you are going home very soon. My people, I want us to know that everything that we are doing, that the world are watching. So in everything that we are doing, we have met every criteria to become a nation. Not by controlling 1%, not by controlling 10%, not by controlling 20%. No, it is by our words, our population, proving our effective control that the Biafran people, now that we have made our official declaration with name United States of Biafra, with the Biafra government in exile, the same thing goes to the many countries in Africa that made the declaration of the government in exile. We are not going to be the one, like I said, and neither are we going to be the last. Many countries in Africa declares their own in exile. In time, they feel like they want this country to be, and there were time the people give them, and also it makes it possible. So, the Biafran people, we have met every criteria. We are pushing forward, seeking recognition after our declaration. The countries in the world that had made their declaration of their country from exile is not only us. Ethiopia, 1963 to 1941 in exile. Algeria, 1962 to 1958, made declaration from government in exile. They are not at home. What of Angola, 1975? What of Guinea-Bissau, 1973 to 1974? What of Mozambique, 1975 and go ahead? What of Namibia, from 1962 to 1990? What of Zambia? All these countries. What of Eritrea? All of them did it with government in exile. That is why we are letting you to know that there is no way forward except now that we have made our official declaration. We also want you to know that Namibia got their independence from South Africa. Also want you to know that Eritrea got their independence from Ethiopia in Africa. So that is why we want everyone to understand that the Biafran people under United States of Biafra, we have met every criteria and we are going home. Nobody will stop us after our declaration. We are now like this country called Somaliland that just got the recognition from America 2026. After their declaration, they have waited for 34 good years before they can be able to achieve their what? Their international recognition. Does it stop them being a sovereignty because of this? The answer is no. We, the Biafran people, stand and asking the world that we, dividing Nigeria, is the best solution. We are giving solution. Let Oduduwa man take care of his border. Let Biafran man take care of his border. Let Arewa man take care of his border. By doing this way, nobody will kill and nobody will penetrate and become a terrorist in our bushes because we are in charge of our border. That is why it is a solution. But Biafran people are in the head of this. We have moved ahead, and we are working to make that everything is being the way it's supposed to be. After the declaration of a new country, you don't need 1% to answer a sovereignty. From the day of that declaration, you have become a sovereignty in the eyes of international law. Under the legal aspect of it, you are a sovereign state with that population that stand on the mandate of declaration and those in the homeland that all gather together to achieve this declaration. We are calling the world to know that the only way is to the situation of Nigeria. Let Yoruba nation go on their own, Oduduwa people. Let the other people stand on their own. Let Arewa stand on their own. Through this way, we will end this ongoing genocide that is going on. Donald Trump could have not even wasted time to come and bomb. We, the young people, can do this on our own in Africa. We want to build another nation that can help the world to make a better place, to make this world in a better place, and make it stable for every indigenous people to live, not under fear, under gun and bullets, or under any other thing in this world. We want to thank the world, but we are seeking for our recognition from the office of University of Biafra, sending all the documents of our declaration to prove a sovereignty and legal aspect of it. That is why she can use FARA to make legal everything about Biafra to become illegal. No other person has achieved that except our DPM, Dr. Musa Rebeze, and the United States of Biafra government. From me, from here, it is a wonderful day. We have spent roughly 4 hours, going to 4 hours. Thank you so much for being here. Let's take our time to rest until see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much. One love. Peace out.